Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there, and you're going to drink good beer. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Session. My name is Jason Petros, but of course you knew that because instantly all the hair on the back of your neck stood up as soon as my voice came on.
Great to meet you, Jason.
Hi, Warren. That's your name, right, Warren?
Yes.
All right. And we're with, of course, the great and powerful Tasty. How you
What's
doing,
up,
man?
Tasty?
Oh, wait, hold on. There you go. There you go.
But not in voice.
No,
Yes.
not in voice, but in spirit.
Yes.
You're always
both
here.
of those.
In spirit.
So spirited.
I'm both.
I would introduce our social media person, Kim Shimpke, but nobody cares about her, apparently. Nobody would be ever interested in anything Kim has to say or do ever, so we're not going to talk about her.
I still don't know who you're talking about.
Exactly, right?
Hey, guys.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
No, we were talking earlier. I'm talking to Kim, and she's telling me, like, she has a gig that I'm not even going to get into because no one cares, apparently. And I'm like, can we talk about that on the show? I think that's really interesting. She's like, nobody's ever going to care.
That
I don't
is
know.
not what happened.
I don't know why you would ever bring anything like that up ever because nobody cares about
All right,
me.
you've been watching
I've
too
worked
many
here for
soap
4
operas at
whole
home.
months, and no one even cares about me.
My name is Kim, and nobody cares. It's like that cartoon Kim Possible. It's Kim Possible for anyone to like what I do.
Reference for the millennials out there.
You've only been here 4 months, right, Kim?
Two and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it feels like 4.
Feels like 4.5 years, even though it's only been 4 months.
Welcome back, Kim.
Why, thank you.
What are
I
you
would
doing
say happy
here?
to be here, but I'm still undecided.
Me too. To be honest with you, me too.
You let us know later
Yeah.
how
The
that
beers
goes.
that I'm drinking is good, so there's
What are you
that.
drinking?
Oh.
That's the Pizza Port wit beer.
Which is super ironic, and I hate living in this timeline
Oh, boy, here we
because the wit beer is clear. That's a
Yes.
clear wit beer.
Thank
Yes.
you, Club.
And I hate my life right now, and I want it to just
Nothing
end.
makes sense. Are you sure you're not living in a bizarro type world?
I think I might be.
We're in the upside down.
Yeah. Nothing makes sense.
We wrote in with Rick and Morty.
Man, you know those
It's tasty,
those the Facebook challenge where it's like the 10-year challenge of, you know, when you post your profile photo from 10 years ago and your profile photo now, and everyone's supposed to gawk at how much you've changed. Hold on.
Which is something I would never do because I don't want to compare myself now to what.
Bev, you look exactly the same. What are you talking about?
It's okay. We do that for you.
That's true.
Yeah. I get enough judgment in this room.
We agree. Don't do that.
I have a list right here of what I like about you the most, and it updates hourly.
Yeah.
I use the Internet of Things.
Well, thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But you need the list of the things you miss about her the most.
This is what I miss degrading from you, as just eroding over time, as the sands of time wash away. No, and someone posted like a photo. It was a clear IPA.
Oh, that's really good. Actually.
I'm like, that's
clever.
God, that's really funny.
Yeah.
That's a good joke. I appreciate that.
Made a left turn.
I don't know if it was a joke. It might have just been a sad commentary.
That's true. You know what?
Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Speaking of that trend, I read some article about, it's maybe more on the wackadoodle scale, but this lady laid out this really good case for how the 10-year challenge is really just Facebook training their artificial intelligence and facial recognition. Because she's like, look, she goes, okay, so of course people are going to go, why would they need help? They already have access to all of this, all of my photos, but they're all out of context. And we don't really generally post photos of just ourselves. It's like a group of people.
Yeah.
And, facial expressions can be the same, and facial recognition software is super good.
Would vary across the whole spectrum.
Right.
But they were able to get you to tell them that 10 years. That's the interval that they've nailed down.
10 years, and this face is this face, but 10 years after.
They can use artificial intelligence that do aging, basically. They'll have their own aging algorithm.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Right. They just had you do the work for them.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're training AI, and that's the theory. And Facebook is going to. So then you can. Yeah. Anyway, and so when you're posting it, they'll read the caption. This is me with a field or whatever, and you're just training the machine, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Do you want Skynet? Because that's how we get Skynet.
What do they get out of that? What was the article worried about?
It's just showing how you've lost weight or aged or
Well, but what does Facebook?
What are they going to do with that information?
That technology?
Who knows? I don't know. I already now
they're able to
there's
age you.
Yeah, there's gadgets. There's at least one specifically that I think they're coming to market with. Maybe it's on Kickstarter. I read some weird article about it, but it's a wearable, pins to your shirt.
Okay.
And it connects to your Facebook, so it will tell you. Like if I'm outside and it picks up on anybody that is in my Facebook friends,
okay,
or I've run across, it'll tell me. I'm assuming on a text or whatever that hey, this person. This person from this place, and it will help you out that way.
Nice.
Oh, so I don't have to remember anything about anybody.
I could use that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in 10 years, when the neural uplink is right there, then you'll just know the information. I don't know. I found it really fascinating, and of course, that's where they're going. Cool. They're just going to sell the information.
Yeah, it's all about facial.
But that was still a rumor, or was that?
No,
true?
no.
That's a theory.
It's a
theory.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But you think about it. If Facebook found a picture of you 5 years ago, they could use this algorithm to age you 5 years.
Yeah.
Because you're from collecting this data.
Yeah, so that way there's a cool little app that you could make yourself.
Will you be recognized?
All that shit's there, dude.
Yeah, 10 years from now from a photo you took today.
It's crazy that
Interpol will arrest you.
That's right. Minority Report. It's crazy that people still trust Facebook with their information like that. Didn't we learn anything from those games?
No.
Take this quiz and find out what color shoelaces you are.
Yeah.
Have we not learned about that?
Right.
They already have your photos. I don't feel like how this is any different.
Because you're giving them context to it. You're giving them information to further whittle down and focus the algorithm.
You're saying here's two pictures that really represent how well I've aged in 10 years.
Yeah, these two images are the same person.
We're also just checking off who's the sheep of all of the people that use
Well, there's
Facebook.
that too.
I think it's more bizarre when Clash of Clans asks for my microphone permissions on my camera.
That's true.
And recording features.
Yeah. And what service do you use to launder Bitcoin in? Right. Because I need access to that. We all know VeChain is the new, so it's fine.
Yeah, I've totally heard of that before.
Oh, yeah. VeChain, you get VThor. Dude, don't worry about me, dude. I know what's going on. This is the session. This is not the weird rambling hour. And today on the show, we have Camino Brewing from local people in San Jose, California.
I mean, is South Bay really local?
It's local enough.
I don't get there very much. So
Bart
to me, it's
doesn't
a long
go to
ways off.
San Jose.
Oh, if you're not on the BART line, you're nothing?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't have a car, so if you're accessible to me, then you matter.
Well, we have Alan and Nathan here in the studio. They're going to be joining us, of course, in the next segment to talk about their beers. And they have a coffee beer that won an award, so we'll talk about that. And drink, as they say, other fresh beers. So I have no idea what's in store for us, and I
like
kind of like
surprises.
that.
I don't need an agenda.
I'm all right with that.
Was that a deliberate? So you couldn't decide that you hate them before they come in here?
You think they're that
I feel like
tied
they've learned.
in?
I think so. Yeah, I think most people have learned.
I hope so. I really do, because that would be great.
People do listen to you.
Just wondering, is this session and every session brought to us by More Beer?
It is, Tasty. How did you know that?
I just ran through my head. Like, I wanted to hear that.
Oh, man.
We just finished the pre-show, so welcome to the session, everybody.
Yeah. This is for Patreon subscribers only. You get the first 20 minutes absolutely free. Everyone else has to pay. Send me your 20-year Facebook photos now. Advance age yourself. Speaking of More Beer, just a segue king is coming in. Don't worry about it. More Beer wants to change your malt game with Viking Malt. Hailing from Northern Europe, Viking Malt is a family-owned malt house since 1880 plus 3.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers.
They're a malting malt then.
Right? And is the largest specialty malt producer in the world.
Oh.
Their base malts are malted from no-lox varietals that do not contain the enzyme lipooxygenase, which leads to trans-2-nonenal in beer, which, of course, is responsible for the stale cardboard flavor. So head over to morebeer.com and brew with ingredients from the future.
Of course.
The future of us, dude. This timeline better shape up, dude. I'm telling you. Clear wit beers and hazy other beers.
Complaints?
Well, I'm making a list.
Okay.
I'm making a list. You know what? That'd be a good YouTube channel. Just like to rant about. Because I'm like.
That'd be very original. No one rants on YouTube.
It's not a thing yet.
But like specifically about what's wrong with this current timeline. And like how to like change it and sort of time travel sort of that.
Ideas for the next timeline.
Yeah, like I'd put my fedora on.
That's one episode?
Yeah. I keep touching this microphone cover and I hate it. I'd put my fedora on and get my katana out, and I would just sit there and I would just talk about how this timeline can't be reality because we have clear wit beer.
Because you're not enjoying yourself.
Right. And then I'll give you my review of Dragon Ball Z Broly, and we'll go from there.
Oh. I stopped paying attention to it after about 1995.
Yeah, me too. I was just trying to be cool. I'm just trying to be cool to the kids, Warren.
Be cool to the kids.
Yeah, I haven't been here. I don't think I've been on this show since December.
I don't think any of us. Yeah, you didn't miss any.
Have we not had? Had one?
We had 2 holiday breaks and a cancellation.
Right.
It's been 4 weeks.
It's been 4 weeks.
4 radio weeks.
Jiminy Christmas.
Well, we didn't want to have a show without you, so.
Thank you, Warren.
We were going to continue to.
We were going to do the no guest show without you, but we thought you'd be.
No one else knows what buttons to press and knobs to turn.
Man, I will teach you. As long as I can still get paid for it, I will teach you how to run this show. It feels. I don't know. It feels like an old shoe. Like you find an old shoe or an old sock behind the dryer that you thought you lost.
Yeah, it's got a hole on it, so you feel the sand.
Yeah, but then you put it on. You're like, that really fits, uncomfortably, and I can't wait for it to be over.
Right.
That's kind of.
Can I take it off now? I'm ready to take it off.
That's kind of now. It's kind of the show. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, can't wait for it.
We have some beer news, a couple Two Tree stories. Nothing super major, of course.
We gave them a month. They better have done something for us to talk about.
You know what's awesome about doing this show, Warren, is that you just reminded me about feedback.
Hey, I bet someone even wrote it into feedback.
The Janet Jackson song?
They might have been complaining about no show last week.
There's a Janet Jackson song?
Called Feedback.
Oh.
Can we play it during the break?
No, we'd have to pay for it.
You can play it during
You're going to buy it? We'll play it.
Yeah, play
it during my invoice.
Play it during the 5th break.
That's right. Yeah, so we'll play it during the 5th break. My favorite thing about Kim is that she says stuff in such a tone that you should already know about it.
Yeah, I thought I did.
It's going to make her boyfriend really hang out a long time.
More or less.
He lives very far away.
But you still talk. It's just like, yeah, of course. Easy. I didn't know.
Yeah. I just said hi.
Oh, God bless. I got paperwork here. Feedback today is brought to us by the Beer Law Center. John over there at the Beer Law Center works hard to protect all the things that we need protecting. He's basically like a jockstrap, like a cup around anything you need, any trademark thing that you have. Yeah. That's John. Whenever you think of John, think of cups and think of jockstraps.
A legal jockstrap.
A John strap.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're from Philly, that's like multiple. You only need a John strap.
Is jockstrap a trademark term? Is that like Kleenex?
Oh, or Xerox now?
Maybe we should call John.
John, do me a favor. Because if not, I want to trademark the word jockstrap because I think it's pretty cool.
Or John strap.
That'd be a good S&M bar, but for like closeted like athletes. Jockstrap.
Why
no?
a bar?
Well, I don't know. Why not? Yes, and Warren.
Yes, and.
Come on.
And let's go there. Let's build it.
Thank you very much. This first...
I just heard 20 different beer names there. Like, I'm writing these down.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm tired. What do you want from me? I'm trying to make dumb jokes. I'm tired, okay?
Let's go to take a nap.
Okay. This first one is from John, and it's titled, quote, varietal feedback.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
It's about wine.
Maybe we could read the email, and then we might know.
On the subject.
Are you going to read it out loud or just yourself?
No, I'm just going to read it to myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for you guys to stop mumbling. I've been listening to the podcasts, working my way up from the very beginning.
Oh, we're sorry.
Which, I don't recommend that, dude. Don't do that.
Go back and listen to a random one here and there.
Is that because you weren't on the first one?
No, it's not about that.
Oh,
he's right.
I mean, it's hard to listen.
No, it's not. It's not about that.
We were excellent from the get go. It's just that you're listening to something that's old news, like the whole I might say something 10 years ago about a beer fact that's not true today. Things have changed. That's not the current theory.
So you heard it here first. Tasty is outing himself as a total liar.
He didn't know anything 10 years ago.
I don't claim. Yeah, everything I say here is with a grain of salt. I don't lie intentionally. I just make a lot of mistakes.
That's true.
But if you want to follow the drama of our lives.
Yeah, you get to see.
But not Kim's life, because nobody cares about Kim.
No, who?
No one can. No one will care. JP, no one will care about what I have to say. Do you think they'll care? No, I really don't. But I mean, I just really. Also, I listen while brewing, but my player plays the most recent, so I'm working towards the middle from both ends.
Oh, okay.
What?
I don't know. You're the math guy. You tell me what the hell you're talking about.
It's like two trains approaching at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. Two trains leave Chicago at the same time.
How many brews will it take to get to the middle?
Right. Why were they in Chicago? Right now I'm listening to an episode from December 2018 that JP is hosting. Weird.
Okay, last year.
Weird that I'm reading his email and I'm hosting.
What?
And
So actually one of the more relevant ones.
Yeah. In his blurb about More Beer, thanks More Beer for your steadfast sponsorship, he says, he uses the expression hop varietal. You keep using that word. That word doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay, here we go. Know-it-alls online. It is not a classy way to say variety. Varietal is an adjective that refers to a product, typically wine, made from a single variety of something. In the case of wine, it would be grapes. No Pinot Noir wine is varietal, being made from Pinot Noir grapes.
Did Warren write this?
I think Pinot Noir can also be a blend. It doesn't have to be 100% from Pinot Noir grapes, but I could be wrong. I don't know, clearly.
Well, that's just labeling.
I normally don't correct grammar mistakes since most Americans have never been taught grammar. What?
So he was just saying varietal.
First of all, we all went
studied
through
a lot
English.
of grammar. Thank you very much.
I take exception to being called an
My
American.
English teacher. I'm going to have her come and give that guy a piece of
Yeah,
her mind.
Mr. Henderson's going to come and beat your ass, John.
So is the takeaway that varietal is not a noun? Is that what he's saying?
Well, here, let's see. I normally don't correct grammar mistakes since most Americans have never been taught grammar, but pretentious misuse drives me nuts. It doesn't sound classy. It sounds ignorant.
We're going to have fun with this guy.
That's it, John. I'm using varietal to be pretentious. That's I'm making dick jokes on either side. You got it. You have an ear for this shit.
Well, I think I might have missed the point here. He's saying that varietal has to do with like a certain ingredient that goes into the beverage, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he says it's an
grape,
adjective that refers to a product made from a single variety of something.
Right. So what if we had a single hop beer? Wouldn't that be a varietal?
Well, if I say hop varietal,
in the context of one hop in the beer,
I guess.
Why not? Right?
He's saying that's wrong, or that's the way you're supposed to.
He's saying we're misusing it. Just say variety.
I don't know, man. Apparently, I've never been taught grammar, so I don't know. Like some tool saying, call Bill or myself. I can't call yourself. I can call myself, so you can call yourself, but I can't call yourself. I do enjoy the program. Please keep the beer information coming. Just don't let the fact that some tool has a lot of money make you look like as much of a fucking moron as he is.
Grammar error there.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
He didn't even give an example of how to correctly use it, right?
Apparently not. Well, no, he said Pinot Noir, right?
Yeah, like it's a certain grape is a varietal.
Yeah.
No, but how do you correctly use the word varietal? He didn't give an example of that.
Pinot Noir. No, he didn't. Because he's dumb.
I don't see the differentiation between like Marisata and Pinot and a grape varietal. What's the difference?
I don't either.
Why can't we use hop
actual
varietal?
formal thing?
I'm reading it right now because this is where so you guys can thank John for the screeching halt. A varietal wine is made primarily from a single name grape variety. The definition of varietal is an adjective,
So he basically
or it's
just
a noun,
Googled
a
this.
varietal wine or grape. Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm going to keep saying
that's
varietal,
true.
and you can fucking deal with it,
Well,
John.
you're just a dumb American.
Apparently.
Yeah. We got our own version of grammar here.
Yeah.
All words are made up anyway. Language is arbitrary.
I like this.
I've got my own varietal of English that I'm going to use.
You know what? Definition of varietal is the noun. A wine, such as Merlot, bearing the name of the principal grape variety from which it's produced.
Okay.
I would argue, like what Tasty's saying, if you have an IPA that's mostly Chinook, you can call it a Chinook varietal. It's primarily...
Unless he's saying that it's because it's only a word used to describe wine, not anything else.
Oh, that's fine. I'll give you that. If it's
that
not allowed.
He might be saying that.
He might. Who knows? He's not
He's
very
saying
clear.
that. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
What he needs to do is go back and study grammar because literally I have there's 4 people in the studio. We have no idea what you're talking about, John. Sorry, dude.
English is a living language. We're trying to help it move forward.
Yeah. That's correct. You are the weakest link, bro.
Goodbye.
Get out of here. Whatever, dude. I typically don't email in to correct people's grammar, but I just couldn't. Every time I hear it, my penis shrinks, and I can't afford it. Can't afford to lose the real estate, if you know what I mean.
Whenever someone starts a sentence like, I don't usually do this or I don't usually say this, you know exactly what's going to happen.
I'm trolling you.
You know, it's pretentious. Pedantry.
It's called pedantry.
Oh,
but you don't know grammar.
I called it the pantry.
Is the mailbag empty, or is there?
No. We got something from Tasty, or excuse me, from Clayton. From Clayton.
I do live in Clayton.
He just sent an email.
That's right. It's called Tasty Segment.
Okay.
Oh, what's up, Tasty?
Everyone keeps saying "What's up, Tasty," but originally it was "What gives, Tasty."
That's a new name for the segment.
But see, Clayton.
What gives?
Clayton, I know, is a freak. So I think if he's saying what gives, I believe Clayton over myself.
Oh,
so I think he's right because Clayton's a bit of a wackadoo. I think he's right. What gives?
So you've met Clayton?
Yeah, I like the original better myself, but call it what you will. Thanks for all the things, Clayton. So, Tasty, that's a good segue.
Salut, Clayton.
Do we have a baseline?
Do you have a what gives segment, Tasty?
I'll make something up. That's what come on.
Okay, all right. Remind me after the feedback,
all right.
And we're gonna do this, dude. We're gonna do a what gives Tasty, and thank you to Clayton for calling me out on that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some guy just sent me a news article, so I don't really care about that.
Oh. That's not really feedback.
And then this must be spam. Meet photographer Phil Kramer. No, I really don't want to, as a matter of fact. To all my friends of the session.
Hi.
This is from Doug.
Dougie?
Yeah, apparently. And then, it bashes me, which is pretty good.
Was it addressed to you?
No, it's to all my friends of the session is the title.
So it might not be you.
I've waited years to write this email. I love this session, particularly when Justin is hosting.
Ooh.
He's like a curious 2-year-old in a 40-year-old dried-out alcoholic's body. Nothing wrong with JP. He's just an over-opinionated hipster, hating hipster, who tells the worst one-line puns I've ever heard. But he makes amusing comments related to hip-hop, so I'll give him a pass. Yeah, the pun it's a joke. It's on purpose. But recent episodes from Plan B and Mother Earth were a refreshing change to the more sophisticated breweries, which are also interesting to hear from. I must have listened to the Beechwood Brewing episode 10 times at least, so thanks for that. Mm-hmm. In the Mother Earth episode, someone wrote in and referenced a recipe for Janet's Brown and asked what category he should enter that in competition. Mm-hmm. You fucking tool, fuck-faced bastard. Jeez, this guy goes for it. If you just brew a recipe and enter it into a competition, you deserve to drown. Okay, I'm not even going to read what he said. But he says you deserve to drown in the S word, like the news article about the guy who injected this word into his arm to ease his lower back pain.
Yeah.
Some of us craft
Luck of the Irish.
Some of us craft our own recipes and have been tweaking them for years to perfect them. And for you just to turn to page 57 in BYO magazine and do what they tell you to do is bullshit. Take pride in what you do and formulate your own damn recipes.
Well, I get that as an encouragement to brewers. Yes, you'll enjoy the hobby more if you develop the skills to develop your own recipes. But that falling on the ears of somebody that's only been homebrewing for a month or 2 months or 2 years even, that's just not a fair thing to say.
Well, and
because you got to know what you're doing before you develop your own recipes.
Right. Well, we've said it on the show for 14 years now. If you can't formulate recipes, pick one that you like and brew that one. Yeah, it's fine. It's yours because you made it.
Yeah, and taste it and tweak it.
And that's still good to enter into a competition because then they're essentially evaluating your process.
Yeah.
So
which is all the competition is.
There's no point.
Well, it's a big part of competition.
There's no point in making a recipe if you can't even brew a beer.
Correct.
So I think that anybody should enter, not just seasoned, salty, jaded veterans.
Well, Doug here disagrees. So whatever. He says, remember that time that JP insulted a listener times 1,000? Which
time,
one?
Homie?
Right, exactly.
I thought it was
clear.
interesting how he criticized your puns, but liked to show that all they did was say, talk about it, while they were wearing a taco.
Talk about it. The guy who ran out of propane while brewing and was asking why JP hasn't returned his emails. I do not remember that, but he says, hilarious, best thing I've ever heard. So there you go.
Oh, guilty as charged.
That's the best thing he's ever heard, is me yelling at another dude that he doesn't know.
So then he does like you.
Who cares, really?
Just thinks you're funny.
Why is it that every time you get a caller, it's some guy from Wisconsin who has a high-pitched, annoying, nasally voice? I'm from Wisconsin, and we don't all sound like that. In fact, I have a very deep voice.
Call in.
Huge balls, and we don't ask whether or not we should pee on our wives. We just do it. This guy is going deep because those are 10-year-old references. I think.
Yeah.
Especially when we were. Wasn't it that guy? Maybe you definitely weren't on. Bev was. Tasty may remember. There was a guy, and he was like, "Should I go wake up my wife?" And I think I was trying to get him to pee on her. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I also remember this.
Yeah.
I think. I really wish you would have taken my advice. It would have been good for him.
It would have been great radio.
Yeah. It really would. It really absolutely would have. Can you imagine what that radio would sound like? Is this poor defenseless woman waking up?
We might have gotten to hear a husband get murdered.
That would have been great. One time I woke up with pain in my feet, and I immediately thought I was an alcoholic lacking B12. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I love the chemistry between Warren and JP on the show.
Oh, that's cool.
They giggle at each other's little jokes, and it's quite obvious that at some point they may have touched tongues.
No, it's freaking me out a little bit.
Only twice.
I'm not
this
going to
really
read
brought
this.
it around.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Really
it's very boring.
Sorry. Except that last part about us.
Well, yeah, that was good, but it was a really dumb joke. So there you go.
Thanks for writing in.
Yeah, you're welcome. Here's one from I wrote that.
Oh,
this is one from Richard. He says, "Holy shit! I just refreshed my iTunes feed and I just realized you guys uploaded every single session episode. Awesome."
What?
I don't know. I do know that that we have a new like an ad roll, basically.
Oh, that's
so yeah, and I think that's part of what happened, where it just kind of refreshes everything. So hopefully they didn't bog anybody down. But if it did, I can't really do anything about it.
But they're all back up now.
No complaints.
Yeah. Everything should be good.
Yeah. Great.
Oh,
so now everyone needs to re-listen to them.
That's right.
From the beginning.
This one is from someone called Beer Brain. And the subject is called AmazonFucktards.com. Which, by the way, if you do any if you do any shopping on Amazon, please use our Amazon link. It's on the homepage. It really helps us out and helps pay the bills.
Yeah, don't be a fucktard.
Yeah, that being said, hey, Justin, Bevo, JP, Tasty, Beardy, and crew.
Hello.
I'm a long-time UK, but not Kim.
I'm part of the crew.
Well...
I'm part of the crew.
Yeah, but no one cares about
you. Knew that was coming.
No one cares about your life.
You have to be here 6 months to be a part of the crew.
I think you want to start like a telenovela.
I would. Dude, those people make tons of money. Kidding me?
In pesos?
Sure. I'm a long-time UK listener and have made my way through the archives. Well, then I would like to say, good day, mate, in your traditional language.
Is that you saying it to him, or is
That's
you
me?
writing
No,
that?
it's me saying it to him in his language.
Oh, okay.
I speak anyway. 12 hours a day, I print books like Twilight, Harry Potter, and 50 Shades while listening to the Brewing Network. What? Yeah, I have now listened to every show you guys have put out since show number 1. Then he put an ellipses, and then he says, yes, that does include the Sour Hour. And then he puts another ellipses. So apparently he likes torture.
Yeah, huh.
In the new year, it seems that Amazon gave up on the UK as a supporter of the Brewing Network via UK patrons.
That's right.
I've used the Amazon link religiously for the past couple of years, and I'm disappointed that I cannot support you in this way any longer. Therefore, today, I have moved up the ranks from private to corporal. There we go.
Thank you.
What a great gesture.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job, dude. Appreciate that. I offer you my increased donation for the hours of entertainment and education that has led to the improvement of my homebrew 100-fold.
Oh, I'm glad we helped.
Yeah.
The Session Brew Strong, Can You Brew It, and even the Sour Hour have helped me make beer worth drinking. Hell, I even won a local competition recently with a Janet's Brown clone. Well, don't let Dylan or Doug or whatever.
You stole the recipe. You didn't create your own.
How dare you? Yeah. You didn't go and track the water down from your source.
If you want to take it to the next level, he could even move to the U.S., and then he could still use the Amazon link.
That's right. To give us our 6% cut
right.
out of that. That'd be great. Thank you ever so much for what you have done for the beer community over the years. Although your immediate influence may be California and the U.S., your influence spreads across the world. Be an Army for life. Matt C. P.S. Suck it, Schumann. P.P.S. Love you, JP.
Wow.
All right. Look at that,
quite
dude.
a few deep cuts in the feedback today.
Hell yeah, dude. I like that. I appreciate that. Beer Brain very much.
Yeah.
And that is feedback. Brought to you, of course, by Beer Law Center.
Hey, that was a great way to start feedback for the year.
Live read world there.
Well, Tasty. What gives, Tasty?
Oh, that's right. What gives? Well, here's what's giving. Coming up in our area is what they call San Francisco Beer Week.
Yes.
It starts on the Saturday, the 2nd. The 1st.
Right.
The 1st of February?
1st of February for the opening gala.
Okay.
It's just a great event. It's one of the best beer fests in the Bay Area because it's got like 75 breweries and they're all local and all the brewers are in town. It's the only event of the day, so everybody's at this event.
Yeah.
Really good event. Then in the second, the first is also the Planet of the Younger release. The Planet of the Younger always comes out up at Russian River. Always on the first Friday in February. So landed on the same day as the opening gala. It's no big deal.
Have you gotten
that
to
goes
taste
for
it
2
yet?
weeks. What's that?
Have you gotten to taste it yet?
No. Well, it's not yet.
Well, that doesn't mean you
Warren.
wouldn't get to taste it.
God.
You've got connections.
I got connections, but I don't. I got bigger things to do.
Is this going anywhere?
Well, boo, I got to have it before you did. I don't, whatever.
Is this going anywhere for a What Gives, Tasty, or are you just talking? Okay. Because What Gives is usually like
want me to have more
a
angst?
gripe or a thing, right?
All right.
Maybe it's a new thing for 2019.
I'm looking for a little more edge.
I got a free ticket. I'm just trying to get payback.
So you want to give away a ticket to the gala?
No, I got a free ticket. Because I'm just kind of paying it back, promoting it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I got a soapbox here.
Okay, well that was What Gives, Tasty.
Right. He sold out in between 2018 and 2019.
Like someone else in the room that we can't talk about.
One more thing. On February 2nd, Saturday after the opening gala, is the Heretic release of Evil 3. So,
Okay.
Come out the Heretic. You bring your growler.
There you go.
And you get it filled right off the fermenter.
All right. And that was What Gives Tasty, brought to you by Play Harder Tours, which is a full-service travel company offering custom-built beer tourism travel packages to worldwide destinations. Oh. They offer both group and individual travel designed with your personal preferences in mind. Their trips are experience-driven and designed to have you hit the ground running when you reach your destination. If you enjoy festivals, touring breweries, distilleries, and wineries, visiting bars, cafes, and mixing with locals, eating great food while avoiding the tourist traps, they can point you in the right direction. You'll love their trips. Find them at playhardertours.com.
Excellent. Invite me. I might go with you.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Invite me. I have a free ticket to the Pliny the Younger destination.
No, I don't at all.
Oh, I thought you did.
He got one for him.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't understand what's happening, you guys. Oh, do we have a Twitter game, Warren?
Yeah, but the music's already coming up.
All right, well, we'll do it when we come back. Okay. All right, everybody, this is the session. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Alan and Nathan from Camino Brewing Company. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
First Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Hey, motherfuckers, this is Doug from fucking Society. You're listening to the session on the fucking Brewing Network. Fuck you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the session. Before we get to our guests, Camino Brewing, I want to tell you guys about the Branding Brews podcast, which is a deep inside look at everything that revolves around branding and marketing a brewery. Branding Brews interviews industry professionals covering in-depth strategies and topics like labels, packaging, websites, social media content, trademark, marketing, plus much more. Whether you're in sales and marketing, you own a brewery, or you're looking to start a brewery, Branding Brews is a podcast for you. Go to brandingbrews.com or subscribe to the show wherever you like to get your podcasts. Which, I don't know. I don't even know if people really listen to podcasts anymore, to be honest.
Well, they don't like to get them. They love to get them.
Wherever you love to get your podcast. I love Stitcher. It's so convenient. Warren, before we get to our guest, do we have a Twitter game, please?
We still do.
Hell yeah, dude. Twitter today is brought to you by Hidden Moon. course, you guys remember Michael Fairbrother and Moonlight Meadery, a longtime supporter of the Brewing Network.
Yeah, great guy. Mm-hmm.
Now they're looking to bring Michael's Braggots to the market. You can help them get started by joining their Lunar Society, which includes 12 Society-only mead releases, 4 Society-only Braggots, a hooded sweatshirt, and a pair of tasting glasses, plus discounts and much, much more. To learn more and join the Lunar Society Club, check out Moonlight Meadery at moonlightmeadery.com. All right, Warren, what's our Twitter game, bruh?
Well, so last week I dusted off the old axe and tuned it up.
Yeah.
And reminded myself how much I like making music. So.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to confess to an axe murder.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did that later. I did that later.
Okay.
No one's actually seen candy in 6 months.
It's weird. It took me a long time to sharpen the axe first.
I'm a defense attorney. You guys don't want to talk about this.
Well, nothing happened.
Allegedly.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I wrote a story about killing my wife. And
a friend of mine.
It would go something like this.
And so it made me miss when we used to have a band on the Brewing Network.
Mm-hmm.
And so since I figure that band's been defunct way too long.
Four Friends and Sam, for those of you who don't know.
I figure we need to create a whole new lineup, and we need a new name. So what is the new BN band going to be called?
All right.
And the lineup, too? I mean, you could throw that in as well. I mean,
sure.
Yeah. Whatever.
Name the Brewing Network band.
Like if you hate JP and you want to exclude him from the new band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. That's totally fair. Did you really dust off your axe? Did you really start playing?
It didn't have any dust on it. I just opened the case.
Because I keep it in a hermetically sealed jar.
On there, you just couldn't see it.
Hey, it's a Gibson Les Paul, so it's actually one of the better investments I've made. So.
Is it really?
It's worth more now than when I bought it.
There you go.
Oh, well, hey, man. Because I've been thinking about playing the guitar again, too, like dusting off my axe. Mine both have...
Are basses axes?
What else would they? You know what they are? They're fucking double-headed axes, just like barbarians would.
Oh, Vikings?
Sure,
the
Vikings.
Original maltsters.
I don't know, man, but I haven't done it because my problem with playing a musical instrument is what's the point? If you're not in a band, what the hell's the point in learning? I can play Money by Pink Floyd now. Great, put that on my fucking headstone. Like, what am I gonna do with that information?
Enjoy life.
That's not enjoy. I mean, you 15 minutes. You're like, okay, I played it.
Yeah.
I could have also been doing 12 other things.
You exercised your mind and learned a skill.
Yeah, but I do that in making my newspaper collages for 50 Shades of Grey.
Do you take this approach with Alice's diapers?
I mean, basically,
it's just
I go, why
get
would
dirty again? And I have other things to do.
I pretty much just knock out her poo and then use it again.
Just recycle it. Close the loop.
Alan and Nathan, thank you for joining us on the show from Camino Brewing right here. Well, not right here in San Jose, but right here in California in the Bay Area. Bay Area kids. What's going on, guys?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
hey, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming all the way up here. It's a haul, but, hopefully it's worth it.
Definitely.
So I was looking through the show notes, and the first thing I want to talk about is we talk about, where you guys have brewed previously, but the answer is no. You have no previous brewing experience whatsoever.
Well, so I started as a home brewer 10 plus years ago.
Okay.
And then we got hooked up when we started brewing commercially with EJ Fair.
Okay, yeah.
So we brewed with Kyle and Josh and Sean, and they've all scattered off to Morgan territory. Kyle's out there now, and Josh is in Hawaii opening his own place there. And
oh, damn.
Sean is running, I think, Epidemic now. So everybody's off doing great things, and they really helped us from the beginning to get Camino out in the market and really help launch our first place. So
awesome. Were you guys brewing over there just to kind of get the word out before you can get space and equipment, or how did all that work out?
Yeah, we have been brewing, in Nathan's garage for years, and then at that time, still pretty much brewing there. And but the beer was so good that Whole Foods wanted to buy it from us and put it on.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did they find out you're brewing your garage? How do they know about you?
So Nathan and I started. We got an interest in building a brewery and kind of taking. Nathan had this amazing beer, this great skill set. We did, once we decided, we can tell you a little bit about the story, kind of why we decided to make a brewery. But once we decided to go down that road, and we were looking at San Jose as a possible location because it wasn't saturated with craft breweries at the time.
Is it still? I think it's pretty kind of
we were the 12th,
wide open.
We were number 12 to open back in April of 2018.
Oh, 18? 2000 what?
18
yeah,
last
we just
year.
opened up.
12? I had no idea.
There have been 2 more, I think. I think we're up to 14 now.
But I think San Jose is a market that can take that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's huge.
Yeah, and it's becoming more, more, I don't know, people are getting more excited about it. Now they're starting to see some more interesting craft breweries and different beer styles coming into town.
But now you've bought your own equipment, have your own brewery and your own tap room.
We do.
Okay, not to push it forward too fast. But before that, how long were you putting beer into the market with EJ Fair?
Yeah, so Alan calls me up one day and says, hey, Whole Foods called us. They want to put us in their store that they're opening on the Alameda, which itself was going to be one of, I think, 2 Whole Foods in the country that had an actual brewery in it.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, I remember that was huge news.
And we got hooked up with Whole Foods because we'd actually brought a friend of ours, Crafting a Strategy. They help brewers and connect brewers from all over the place. And so Sam Holloway, who runs Crafting a Strategy, was a friend of ours. So we actually brought him to San Jose, and he gave a talk to all the local breweries about how to basically up the beer game in San Jose. So at that talk was the regional beer buyer for Whole Foods. So we kept talking to him. Alan calls me up one day. I'm at work, the public defender's office, and he says, "Hey, man, Whole Foods wants to put us on at the brewery on the Alameda."
Damn, dude.
Great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Cool. What do they want? Well, I promised them 100% locally sourced, California-grown IPA.
Hand-blown glass bottles. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
The world.
Said, sure.
He promised the world.
I see how this relationship works.
I said, sure, no problem. And 6 weeks later, we were in the Whole Foods, and from there we started reaching out to other breweries who can produce us on a wider scale. EJ, we were lucky to connect with them.
Sure.
And we were lucky to be able to put out 30-barrel batches, and we started
bottling. Whole Foods. The next thing our friend Wes at Whole Foods, he said, well, can you put this beer in bottles? And, we talked about it, and we thought we could figure that out. And he said, because we want to put it in all of the 43 Northern California Whole Foods markets, and we'll do it simultaneously.
Of course he will. Right. Because why make it easier on us?
That would be like a one-time release, or no, you got a shelf space, just keep it full?
We did that 3 times with him.
I see.
Wow. I don't think anybody was quite sure if it was going to be a regular deal, but they ultimately did that 3 times for us.
My case is the barrels math is all messed up. How many barrels of beer would be 43?
43 markets?
43 markets.
They were buying somewhere between 2 and 5 cases per 22s at a time. So times 43 stores. So it was a few hundred.
It's a lot of math, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I should just say, because we got the opportunity here, is that the bottles that we had made the bottles. Actually, we made them in Los Angeles at a God, I can't remember the name of that place now. But they make they do designs, they do bottles, and they had shipped them all up to Northern California.
Okay.
And instead of shipping them to EJ Fair, where they were bottling it the next day to be delivered to Whole Foods the following day,
right?
The driver got the address wrong, and they shipped it to my house. But I live at the top of a mountain in Santa Cruz.
Oh my God!
Jesus!
And so the semi was going up the road, and the driver was like, where the hell am I? Yes, absolutely. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't get the gas going anymore because it's too steep. So he hit the brakes, and they locked. And the entire semi started sliding back down the hill. And he actually opened the door and he jumped out.
Whoa!
He jumped out of the semi.
There goes all and your bottles all like what happened with
the truck slid back. It went down about 30 feet. It rolled back. The back wheels went over the curb, which is then about a 40-foot cliff drop.
Okay, so he was smart to jump out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was dangerous. And the truck stopped.
So you didn't lose any bottles on that? That was my fear.
We have to unload the bottles from there.
No, we got a tow truck.
Winch them out.
Now I'm worried about it. I assume the truck driver is okay.
Everybody was
I didn't care about him. I cared about the
Let me just end this story by saying that the bottles made it to Whole Foods. And Whole Foods is still buying beer from us.
Man, because really, it's the history of Camino. Is like one more foot, and that truck rolls off the back of the edge.
Yeah.
We've had all kinds of experiences like that opening a brewery. So.
I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, it's from doing the show for so long, we hear all sorts of stuff. Never heard that. I've literally never heard that. That's a new one. And because when you're telling the story, I'm going, oh, well, what do you mean he jumped out? What a dick. Like, because I imagine.
I don't know what's he going to do.
But the man was shaking.
Well, he has the wherewithal to know how far the curve is, and he knows he's going to go over if he doesn't get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That man's a hero.
For saving himself.
No, he's a hero. He got up at 5 a.m. and he's the one who drove those bottles to the hill. Fair.
Yeah, that's right. Which what are you going to do when there's autonomous semis? That's like we got Elon Musk coming in next break to talk to us about the thing. So let's talk a little bit about before you guys open about the history of Camino and how you two met. And, kind of take it from there.
So Alan and I met in law school. We were going to McGeorge in Sacramento. And the first semester of law school, we were studying for finals. And there was this girl that I was studying with that I kind of liked.
Hell yeah.
And she showed up one day with Alan and said, hey, Alan doesn't have anybody else to study with right now. I thought he could study with us.
Yeah.
I said, sure, absolutely. I've seen him in class. The next day, Alan showed up and she didn't, and he and I have been together ever since.
So it was a blind date.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I think that's nice.
It's a connection.
19 years ago, and we've been through a lot since then. Now here we are.
Okay, I was reading on the website a little bit about something about a bike trip through Spain.
Yes.
And how that led to a brewery.
Yeah, so I called Alan up one day and said, hey, man, my job is ending. We're a contract public defender firm up in Placer County, and our firm lost the contract. So said I'm moving down to Santa Barbara to start a new job down there, but I got a couple of weeks and I need to get out of town. So there's this trail across Spain that I learned about in a medieval history class at Santa Clara University. And I was like, hey, people walk this thing. They do this thing on bicycle. It's called the Camino de Santiago. You can do like the last 100 kilometers of it, and they give you a little certificate at the end, and it'll give us a chance to get out for a little while. And so he said, sure. And I said, well, if you want to do the last 100, it's only 500 miles altogether. So
that's not bad.
Why don't we just do the whole 500 miles?
Right.
So the first day we were out doing the Camino, we were at the top of this hill.
You guys were biking?
Yeah, we're biking.
Were you like cyclist enthusiasts?
No,
kind of
not really.
Like I could pick a bike out of a photo, but I don't know what it.
He bought a bike
for the Camino.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He bought a bike for this trip. And so, we cycle up to the top of this mountain in the Pyrenees. I say hill, it was a mountain. And the wind starts to whip and the rain starts to come down. And he looks at me. He's like, what have you gotten me into? Screaming at me. And so...
No, you lose your mind on the Camino. Everybody. There's no way around.
Well, the high altitude, you get kind of loopy. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the wind and the rain doesn't help either.
You're coming from here, right?
Yeah.
We took our bikes, we disassembled them here, we flew them over there, we put them together, we ran them all around Europe, trying to get to the train, to get to the Camino, and then we got going, and right off the bat, it was like hitting like a straight wall, and it was so steep, we couldn't cycle up it.
And so
it was the first day. It was embarrassing.
And you're not a cyclist. So were you a cyclist?
We pushed those bicycles.
Nathan?
I actually had bought my first bicycle since I was a kid about a year before because I was doing a couple of triathlons.
Yeah.
And so I had a bike and I'd been riding. And I was living in Sacramento at the time, and the bike trails along the river were great. So I spent a lot of time. And they were flat.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So you didn't have your training wheels on.
No, I walked the Pyrenees right next to him.
Okay, all right.
There was no riding up that hill.
God. So was it better after that first initial? Is that the worst part of it, and then you can actually enjoy your trip? Because it sounds like a beautiful time. I can't imagine that it's ugly riding through the country of Spain.
If you like riding in the rain.
I love it, as a matter of fact.
Well, that was just the first trip, right? So, I mean, yeah, I think we had a really great experience. And about a third of the way across the country, we took a day off in Burgos, Spain, up in the north. And we went our separate ways for the day. And we both had these really kind of powerful, I think, experiences about the trip that we were taking and how everyone we met along the way, wherever they were from, you were able to come together and share that common experience with those folks, no matter what their backgrounds were, no matter what country they were from. And we both experienced that in different ways that day in Burgos. And so we spent a lot of time just talking about that feeling the rest of the way across. And that's something that stuck with us to the point where 3 years later we went back and did it again. But this time we took a couple of months off and we started in Rome. So we rode up the west coast of Italy, through the south of France, up to the north of Spain, and then across back to Santiago de Compostela. And it was out there that second trip in 2009 that we started talking about, hey, what else can we do with our lives but be lawyers? and I should say, we didn't start talking about it then. We started talking about that basically that second day after we met in law school. But by that point, we've been doing it for a while, and we had some experience with it. And so we were looking for something else. And I'd been brewing beer for a little while by then. And we kept coming back to that common experience.
What do we like to do?
So you wanted a job that wouldn't let you take months off at a time.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense. It's true.
The thing is that the brewery experience, right? Once he kind of proposed it, we kind of started down that trail, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that the industry, the people we meet along the way, it's quite organic and it's very much an adventure. So we never could have expected, at the time that we were dreaming this thing up, cycling across Europe, that we would now have a facility in a Timberell tap room and an old mechanics warehouse that we renovated. Nothing's been done in the neighborhood for 40 years. And now we've got this amazing tap room and all these great, kind of interesting things have been happening. And so, I mean, it kind of, we always come back to the Camino because the experience that we have now, it's just not that different, and I think that was the intention when we started out. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and there were, all these coincidences along the way. You would be lost, and all of a sudden the way would pop up again. Or you'd run into somebody who had a piece of information that you really needed. And the whole creation of Camino Brewing since then has been the same way. We were trying to come up with our first logo, and we met somebody who was a brand designer in New Zealand who was deciding to leave her shop and go out and open her own place. And she agreed to do Camino's first logo for like $500.
Damn.
And we didn't have, we didn't.
Shout out to Penny Dombrowski in New Zealand. She's awesome.
We barely had the $500 at that point.
Right.
And so, we created that. And then ultimately we ran into Gamut, who's our branding agency now out of San Francisco. And they've done field work in Golden Road. And these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're a real partner along the way with us here. And so you meet people like that along the way who in one way or another enrich the whole experience. So, yeah, I don't get any time off. I'm working 3 jobs right now. But it's far more, you're living that passion and that creativity that you look to live. So
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're both kind of just wide open to any experience. And I think sometimes if you're not working for yourself, well, not any experience, but Warren is sitting close to you for a reason, but not for that reason. Because I think if you're working for someone else and you're in a job and you punch a clock, you're looking straight ahead. You're not looking kind of in your periphery. And it sounds like you guys are kind of just meeting people along the way, like you're saying, and you're making the best of it, and you're kind of bringing them into your world, and you're kind of just this weird organic experience that not a lot of people get to do. And I think the beer industry is kind of like that. And I think that's why people are attracted to it.
Yeah, the very first day we were taking a train from somewhere in France down to the start of the Camino, And we met this old lady who was traveling on the train with her dog, and she had given up being a teacher in, I think, Belgium, with a great pension and everything, to be an artist. And Alan said to her, her name was Tilly, Alan said to her, wow, that must have taken a lot of courage. And she said, no, there was no courage involved. It was just a decision. I decided I wanted to do that. And so I did it. And so along the way, it's like I gave up a government job with a retirement and whatnot to come and do this. But it's never really felt like, oh, God, it took a lot of courage to do this. It was just, it felt like the next natural step.
Yeah, passion drove the whole thing, it sounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also feel like that's the origin story of most European artists. Like, I'm going to give up something really cool just to,
No, that's what you do. When you follow your dream.
Well, this amazing, this beer, right? This kind of just thing that we, enjoy, and we can hang out and we can drink it and talk to each other. And I think this man has an amazing gift with it. He doesn't have any professional background and training. He really honed the art through his own creativity and dedicated passion, and it's paying off. I mean, we won a West Coast National Championship last month for with the coffee stout that we brought you here today. We took the title.
Try that for sure.
Took the title from Ballast Point, who won last year at the Sacramento Coffee Beer Fest. So we won Best of Show, and it just is an amazing thing because it's still it's the same beer that we were making back in the day. It's no different. And we've been taking it around and sharing it with people for years, including the folks at the Sacramento Coffee Beer Fest.
Right.
And I was absolutely sure that we weren't going to win this year. And in fact, I was kind of consoling him, Nate, I'm sorry, there's no way we're going to win. Look at our little shitty setup right here, And he was just like, no, we've got this.
Wow.
Of course, he had already been told by the judge that we won. And so I found out a little bit later on in the day, but it was great. It was amazing.
I stopped just short of betting him money on it. So,
Man, you really should have. Yeah. And then bought him lunch.
With his own money.
Yeah, with his own money. The actual physical dollars. Yeah. So when you're cruising through Spain, how's the beer scene in Spain? I'm always curious. When people are talking about Europe and kind of the smaller towns, which it sounds like you guys are, and I don't know if along the Camino it's more touristy or not. I don't know. But what's the beer setup like out there?
You roll through a couple of big towns, Burgos and León. Those are pretty populous towns. Santiago de Compostela is a pretty popular town. But for the most part, you're going through tiny little hamlets, and some of which you don't see a single person. And if you blink, you've ridden through there, and you didn't know it. So the beer scene was pretty rough, actually. I mean, we had days out there where we were riding through the heat and with a 30-mile-an-hour headwind where we could have used something decent.
God,
we didn't
like a car.
Yeah. So
air conditioning.
So what we actually did is we emptied out one of my panniers, one of my saddlebags, basically, and filled it full of ice and started buying Estrella and basically cans of beer. So we had a rolling cooler for the rest of the time. And
I think we threw out some clothes and stuff because we didn't have room.
If that's not a home brewer for you, I don't know.
We all got to get high.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Right.
That's amazing.
So we'd stop at every gas station and refill the ice
more
and
ice,
the
more
beer.
beer.
Fuel up.
We didn't even have to stop by the end to pass a beer to one another. So, yeah, that was kind of the inspiration. Actually, for one of the beers that we brought today, the N120 Pilsner, was we got to make a light beer that actually tastes like something
that you can drink on a bike ride.
That's right, and the mountains don't have to be cold or blue.
These are purple mountains. They're very different. It's very fine. Okay, so you guys opened up in San Jose last year. How are things going for you? 10 barrels? You got a 10-barrel brew house?
10-barrel system. We've got 120 barrels of capacity. And it's
you're planning for it.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're trying to. That was one of the lessons that we were taught over and over again from everybody we talked to is the first problem you're going to have is a lack of capacity. And so everybody's throwing out their 10-barrel system, buying a 30-barrel system within the first year, it seemed like. And so we tried to plan for that while still giving us a small enough system to be able to spin different beers on a regular basis, so that to keep it interesting.
Yeah, just learning, and not taking on too much, But at the same time, it's been good, I mean, we just opened April 2018, so not long ago, and since we opened, we just signed with 2 distributors that Geyser Beverage is going to be doing most of the Bay Area, all the way to Yosemite,
Wow.
And then we signed with Stone Brewing Distribution for Santa Clara County. So Stone's going to be handling all of those accounts locally.
Great.
So we're excited about that partnership.
Yeah, that's cool. With the brew house, you went, I guess, smaller brew house, but larger fermenter capacity, because you said the turnover is higher. You need it to be higher, and that's kind of just the current craft beer climate.
Right. I mean, everybody's looking for the new, the next new thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to, you don't want to drink the same IPA over and over again.
And is that annoying, coming from a home brewing background like yourself, where I think, as maybe your experience is different than mine, but as a home brewer, I was always taught, and I would always teach other people to refine your recipe, brew it 5 times, get it to where you want it, but it doesn't sound like you might have that opportunity now as a craft brewer, because people are going, well, that was good, but what's next?
Well, I mean, I spent a lot of time refining recipes, before we ever got open. It took us a while to get open. And so it was about 8 years from that first conversation that he and I had until we actually opened our own shop. So I spent a long time brewing. But I think that was the beauty of home brewing was you get to experiment with different things all the time. I mean, if you're one of the big guys, people expect your beer to taste like X. But if you're one of the little guys, people want to see different stuff. People want to be excited by what's coming out next. And I think, brewing beer is the one creative outlet that I've actually been good at. I used to play a saxophone when I was a kid, but I was no good at that. but brewing beer...
You couldn't play professionally, but you can brew professionally.
Exactly.
There you go.
So I think it's a lot of fun to do that. And
how many faucets are you running now at your tap?
We have 16 taps.
16 running? Wow. I mean, different beer in each one?
Well, the most we've run at one time so far has been 12.
Okay.
So we bounce back and forth. Right now... we got all the way down to about only 6 on tap because we're kind of shifting our focus for 2019. We're going to tell a story across the year, and so we're creating beers right now that fit that storyline.
Theme.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So for instance, the Camino, thousands and thousands of people have been doing the Camino. I think 150,000 people, something like that, this last year alone.
Wow.
This has been going on, although not in the same volume, since about 900 AD. And so this is something that a lot of people have experience with.
Yeah.
They metaphorically break the Camino down into 3 stages. So there's the ups and downs of the Pyrenees, which they talk about being like the ups and downs of life, the joys and the pains of life. And then there's this long, hot, flat Meseta across the middle of Spain, which they talk about likening it to the descent into madness or death. And then Galicia, the end where Santiago is green and lush and beautiful, and so they talk about that being like rebirth. And so we're going to tell that death, life, rebirth story throughout the course of the year. So obviously it's wintertime. We're starting with death.
You brought the ferryman, I think.
I brought the ferryman.
There you go.
The ferryman being across the river Styx.
Yeah,
you guys didn't know this was going to get weird on you, did you?
I want to kill myself.
Right. Well, yeah, because you are descending out of the Pyrenees. You are very close.
That's true.
So we're trying to keep it light, though. We go literary, we go into the movies, and then we go kind of Greek mythology. I'm Greek. I like Greek mythology.
Hey, me too, baby. That's right.
Blood.
Right.
That's right. I could feel it. I could feel it.
So we've got an all work and no play out of The Shining, right?
Yeah.
We have the Ferryman. We named another beer, our double Northeast, that's coming out tomorrow, is called Waters of Lethe. And Lethe was one of the mythical rivers of the Greek underworld. And it was actually the goddess of Lethe was the goddess of forgetfulness. So you had to drink from the waters of forgetfulness to forget your past life and move on through the underworld. And what's better than that than drinking an 8% beer?
Yeah, right.
You will forget
how I got here.
Right, exactly.
Bev, I think I found our way out. They're 8% beer. We'll forget everything, and we can. Never. She's not hasn't her headphones on. Never mind.
She's not listening. She's reading a book. It looks like
it was a good bit, and she ruined it.
Well, the classic Bev.
That's right. Well, we do have a couple beers open in front of us, so let's get to that because you brought, I think, 6 beers.
Yes.
I want to try to get through all of them.
Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. What are we drinking here?
So the first one is our N120 Pilsner. So this is the beer that was inspired by all that terrible beer we drank out of the rolling cooler. This beer has about 5% rye malt to it, so there's a little bit of a spice character. So Centennial and Liberty hops. That gives it kind of a lemony tea-like character to it.
There is kind of a different, deeper malt in the nose. Complexity, right?
Right. And so
that's that rye?
This
rye
one is
in
our
the Pilsner.
Bohemian Pilsner, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Have we ever heard of that, Warren?
Rye in a Pilsner?
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
Because it smells sweet with a little sharpness to it.
Right.
At the end.
It's got the spiciness.
Yeah.
It's very unique. Wow.
And I think that Bohemian Pilsner category gives you a little bit of room to play with things like that. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Tasting it right now.
And
Wow,
only
that's
5%. It's surprising how strong that is.
strong and I don't want to say fruity, but like a very soft white grape.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a white wine,
yeah.
but like a white grape.
Like a white varietal.
I really want to choke you right now. I want to choke you with every fiber of my being.
Hey, my friend Doug just taught me something. On the show.
Doug can eat my ass. I really enjoy this beer a lot.
Thank you.
This is really good.
So you guys do a fair number of lagers in the brewery?
Yeah, I like doing lagers.
Cool.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So we've got a couple. We've got a new one coming out that's going to be even a little bit lighter, but more traditional Pilsner style.
So you run a lager yeast, or are you using dry yeast?
Yeah, we use a Czech Pilsner.
Okay.
Yeast.
You run that, keep it going?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're up to the sixth generation on that now. So
all right,
yeah, that's good.
What are you guys doing for water treatment?
So it's hard. I mean, San Jose water can change, and I'm not referring to the water necessarily. When San Jose water can change throughout the course of a day,
and it's never good.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
this is different.
That's what technology is for.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, we are taking measurements on a daily basis, trying to get averages as best we can. And then we're seeing what works in our gypsum, calcium chloride. That's mainly where we're hitting the water.
Okay.
The heavier stuff, the stouts, we're throwing in baking soda.
Carbonates.
Carbonates. And so
we have an RO, filtration system.
Oh, okay.
So Nathan's always building the water, rebuilding the water.
Okay.
Yeah, we use it's about 75-25 RO to city.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So.
Sure.
And that helps with the fluctuations.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just spent a week upgrading the water system, so
wow.
We're going to be rolling quite a bit more through there now.
Yeah. Why should the people of San Jose suffer and not have good beer to drink? Just because the water is shitty. We can make the water that we want it to.
Very noble. Very noble.
Exactly.
Good cause.
I'm stuck on this Pilsner.
Yeah.
That rye is such a unique flavor in this beer that I don't know if I've had anything quite like this. I really enjoy it. And at 5%?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really refreshing.
And yes, dude. God. I really enjoy it. I
That's nice.
Honestly.
Nice and clean, but it's just that spiciness just gives it something unique.
It's perfumey, but there's a little bit of edge to it, but there's still that hop bitterness that comes through and kind of cleans it all up. There's a little bit of sweetness, but it's still really dry. It's very, very good.
It
good
almost
job.
acts like a noble character. That spiciness.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Or hop derived and malt derived.
What percentage of rye is in here?
It's 5%.
5% rye?
It's 5% is all.
Wow.
There's no place to hide in that beer, so
right. No, that's exactly right. I mean, there are some beers where we have upwards of 30% rye
Can't even tell it's in there.
that we've done, and you can barely tell. Right. So this Pilsner, like you said, there's nowhere to hide.
Do you guys do many lagers?
I try and I like making lagers, and so we try and we've done.
I appreciate that.
India Pale Lager.
Yeah, we've done an IPL. We opened up with a Schwartz beer.
Nice.
And
copied me.
We've got two different ones now besides N120 that we're working on. So.
2 more lagers.
2 more lagers,
okay.
Yeah. So
you got me real excited for a second. I thought you meant 2 more Schwartz beers.
No, I think that Schwartz beer is one of my favorite beers that we make. I love that beer.
Is it a regular, or do you bring it back periodically?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the beer scene in San Jose since you guys have been open? People open to a bunch of lagers? Were they open to a Schwartz beer?
Yeah, I think
it's
that
a weird climate right now.
It is. I think N120 is definitely one of our best sellers.
Mm-hmm.
The Brute IPAs are big right now. The Northeast styles. I mean, everything you'd think would be big, but the coffee stout is also big, and people come in willing to try other styles. Do
you think people are more open as a craft beer drinker these days versus, I don't know, 5 years ago, let's say?
For sure.
Yeah?
I think so. I think people are expecting something different. And
they're
more
almost
like
demanding
wine,
it, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the best thing is the beer is still beer. It's social. It's not pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
And but we can go really far. We can experiment with a lot of different flavors and varieties, and so you can get very creative about something that's still very accessible. So yeah,
and that's lining up well with the consumer. They're looking for the variety and the experimental.
Yeah.
Beer kind of.
Well, and you guys were saying it took you 8 years, I think, from inception to reality.
That's right.
Back then, you still had flagship beers. Did you have to kind of pivot and change your business plan to focus on this kind of new drinking environment in the last couple of years? Or was it not really a thing? Am I making more of it than it needs to be?
No, I mean, we definitely had those conversations along the way. Like, how many core beers are we going to have? Or are we going to turn it more regularly? And for me, there's not one style of beer that I like to drink all the time. And so there's not one style I want to make all the time.
Right.
One of my favorite breweries in Portland was the Commons. And for a long time, they didn't even have an IPA. So, I'm inspired by that kind of thing. Go out, do something different, do it really well, and people will come and drink it.
And I think I think it's kind of lucky for us is that I think we make some great IPAs. And we brought some, you guys can try them out, and so, I think that for the people who, that's just what they want because they like to drink IPAs, then it's fine because we make some great IPAs and they're quality. But we're also making a whole bunch of other stuff, that takes, I think more creativity to make. And, so I think ultimately, I think people are going to get most excited about those beers, just because that's where the craft, where the craft really can continue to be developed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. We don't give short shrift to anything that we do in there.
Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
somebody's going to call you out on it, and the people are going to stop showing up if you're not making quality beer. So even if it's the most popular style, even if it's a style that you don't like, you got to do it and do it well.
Yeah, Warren. You got to do it.
Yeah, even if you don't like it.
Even if you don't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like how I hang out with you.
But you don't actually.
Like it.
But you don't even do it.
No, well,
your outside voice is on.
Your
outside voice.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was just glaring at you.
Don't worry, my inside ears are on, so I didn't hear you.
Great.
What's the second beer that we have?
So this is our Brute IPA. This is Old Lang Syne. So this is kind of the start of the Death series. We were saying goodbye, right?
It's appropriate, but probably not for the reasons you intended.
Right, exactly.
What's the ABV in this beer?
This beer
100. It's actually
This beer is 6.8. Mm-hmm. So this beer, obviously, saying goodbye to 2018 and everything that we had accomplished along that way, and looking forward to the next new year and everything that it was going to bring. So this one we did with Citra, Summer, Hallertau Blanc, and Whole Melon. So.
That Whole Melon, man, what a... If we could have one hop varietal that would be part of my DNA, it would be Whole Melon.
Really?
Yeah. I love that hop so much.
I'm really enjoying the... damn it. What was the second hop that you said?
Let's see.
It's called the Fuck You Warren hop.
Summer. That was one.
Summer hop? I've never heard of that.
Summer was one of our favorites last year for a while in the summer. It's I think an Australian varietal.
Yeah.
And we made a couple of different ones with it. Summer and the Citra, which that's Summer and Citra. And it generally was just a hop we used a lot during June, July.
It's not easy to come by.
What are the characteristics of it?
That's a great question.
Thank you. That's the great.
Have another drink. You tell us.
Yeah. I've had too much mischief tonight to really get into that with. So, but I just really enjoy that hop. So
Okay. I mean, I just from interacting with this beer, I would imagine it's kind of melony, lemony, melony, fresh.
Yeah, it has a lot of kind of
berry. There's like a berry
tropical fruit characteristics, but also when it's on its own or in a different pairing with other, like not grapey and not whole melon, you can get a little bit of like a nice tea-like flavor, like light tea.
Ooh, I like tea.
That really goes like just instead of like a green kind of dank hop cone like American.
Yeah,
it's just a light green like tea character that kind of goes underneath the fruitiness. That's really nice.
And it went really well with the tropical characteristics of the Citra that we were using last year. Last year's Citra hop was awesome in that regard.
Awesome. Well, hey, look, if you're out and about and you want to drink great beers like this, go to the American Homebrewers Association and check out their free Brew Guru mobile app. If you love brewing beer and saving money on beer when you go out, you need Brew Guru in your corner. The app offers a searchable database of homebrew recipes, including popular craft beer clones and hundreds of winning recipes from the National Homebrew Competition. What's more, Brew Guru has a searchable map of deals at breweries, beer bars, and homebrew shops. Grab the free Brew Guru app for iPhone and Android devices and follow the path to good beer. I almost ran out of breath reading that stupid thing, man. It's not
was
stupid.
there no periods? It was just one sentence?
I'm just out of breath.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of shape.
It's all those great questions you were asking.
That's right. My brain is consuming
uphill.
much more oxygen.
The Pyrenees are killing
the Pleiades, I think.
Yeah, whatever they're called.
No, that's the meteor shower. I don't know.
Stay away from that.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to finish up here with Camino Brewing. We're going to drink some beers. We're going to talk about beers and probably make fun of Warren. Hang on, it's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Hey, this is Gabriel from Half Acre in Chicago. You're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Before we get back to tasting the beers from Camino Brewing, I want to tell you guys that White Labs has pure liquid yeast, and of course that means better beers. White Labs boasts the highest concentration of yeast in the industry thanks to their patented Flex Cell technology and pure pitch packaging. And I can tell you it's patented and trademarked because it has a little TM, and then pure pitch is reserved as a little R. The yeast contained and delivered using these innovations are propagated in all-grain wort, providing the perfect nutrients for growth and optimal performance. With White Labs pure liquid yeast, your finished beers will meet the high-quality flavor profiles that you intend to produce. Discover the White Labs difference. Visit whitelabs.com/yeastbank to find the perfect strain for your next beer.
Hey, you took 7 breaths that time. Good job.
Well, I'm trying not to pass out.
Oh.
It's my new thing. It's
Staying conscious?
Yeah, it's my in 2019. I'm really trying to not pass out.
I'm not sure that's what they mean by be present, but it's close.
Well, Christmas is over, so it's. So I'm looking at the replies for the Twitter game, Warren.
Yes.
I show one.
Well, I show 4.
And I don't understand.
And I don't even know how Twitter works, but I have 4.
Like, I'm refreshing the thing, and so I feel like people don't understand how Twitter works.
By people, do you mean you?
No, I fully understand how Twitter works, but I just don't understand. I think people are dumb, and when they're responding to it, I don't think they're responding at all. They're not saying at Brewing Network.
Well, these people, it looks like they just commented on the original tweet.
Well, then Twitter's not working for me.
Oh. Well, don't you constantly say Twitter's dead? So maybe they finally
Twitter's
are fighting
dead,
you
dude.
now.
Twitter, nobody should be on Twitter. Twitter's stupid.
Except only go on Twitter to play this game.
Only to do this stupid game.
And then sign right off.
But you know what's great, though, is Great Fermentations. Has the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, top-notch customer service, same-day shipping, greatfermentations.com. They're on social media, GR8 Fermentation, greatfermentations.com. I just wanted to squeeze that in, sorry.
That was well
squeezed
done.
well.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, it was all right. I hated it.
That read was live.
The leave was right.
You were born to do this show.
Jesus, talk about a waste of life. Sorry.
I'm right here.
I'm a little dark. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right, we got 2 new beers in front of us here from Camino Brewing. What are we drinking today, boys?
So the first one we're going to go for is our new Northeast IPA. It's going to be released tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is Taco Tuesday at Camino Brewing Company.
Oh.
So
now Bev's paying attention.
She heard that.
Yeah, suddenly Bev's paying
shell
attention.
tacos.
Okay.
Cheese shell tacos.
She just likes Tuesdays.
You're talking about tacos. Of course I'm listening.
Absolutely. So we have Molly's Catering sets up in the back of our house. He's there Tuesday through Saturday, and he's kicking out the best tacos, quesadillas, burritos in San Jose, in my opinion. So
that's a huge thing to say.
Did I say cheese shell tacos?
Yeah, he's got the
cheese shell tacos.
Yeah, just think about that.
It's a he calls it a keto taco. So
I don't like that. But
it is a fried cheese shell.
So he fries it so all the moisture is out. It becomes a crispy shell.
Yes,
right.
it does. It's
now
like-
Bevo's going to be keto.
I love keto.
Hell yeah.
I love it so much.
I'm right. I'm going to go to that place.
I'm drinking bacon grease right now. I love it.
Cheese shell taco. I'm right.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
With cheese?
Well, with the beer that comes with the taco deal, so you get
there we go.
3 tacos and a beer from Camino for $10. So
that's a real good deal, dude.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
full belly and full. That's good.
Tasty's just
He's making a note to
I'm
himself.
on my way.
he's done.
How late we open?
so we,
See you tomorrow.
That's right, till 10. So we decided that we'd celebrate Taco Tuesday and release a bunch of new beer tomorrow. I think we have 5 new beers that are releasing.
Wow.
We got a scoop right here.
Yeah,
That's
what are
right.
they? What are you releasing?
So we have the new Northeast. This is all work and no play that we're about to have.
Okay.
We have the double Northeast, which is the Waters of Lathe that we talked about.
Okay.
We have a barley wine that we actually ended up releasing last week, but it's called Last Rites. It's 13%, 13%. And what else? I also brought a barrel-aged Imperial Stout. We're doing that. And
Wow. That'll be coming out tomorrow also.
That's tomorrow also. And then we have a pale ale, West Coast style pale ale that we call the Pale Rider. That's we used grapefruit zests in that one.
Oh wow!
It came out really nice. I'm really happy with that. So
that's cool. Are these? How many of these are homebrew recipes from you?
At this point, they all kind of have a base in what I was doing homebrew wise, but our head of production, Elliot Hoffman, and he and I sit down and we work through these beers hand in hand. And
like literally, you guys are holding hands.
Sometimes
I love that.
Whatever it takes to really get that karma right for that beer.
That's teamwork.
There you go.
These are the links that we go to for our people coming in to drink our beer.
That's right. I held this man's hand for 4 hours for you to have this beer. You better enjoy it.
And he does all the work back there. And so I bring the base of the recipe together. We sit down and we go through different hop combinations. What's our water treatment going to be like? We discuss these things, and then he puts everything into action. And so he's doing a great job.
What's
back
his name?
there.
Elliot.
Elliot Hoffman.
Elliot Hoffman. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing just an amazing job back there. I couldn't ask for somebody better.
Good.
And so this one is his baby.
Okay. What's it called?
This is All Work and No Play.
All Work and No Play.
The name was mine. I'll take that.
Good. It's not a comment on working at Camino.
That's right.
Let me log on to Glassdoor and talk about it.
Straight out of The Shining. So
yep.
We're looking to have a little fun with it. And this one is Mosaic and Mandarina Bavaria. 6.5%. Comes across, I think, with kind of a soft stone fruit, maybe a little grassy character to it still.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's that melon, like you said, stone fruit. I'm always hesitating to use the word juicy because I just don't like it, because I don't think it really accurately describes the way these beers are sort of evolving.
No, right.
I think they're like, this one is drier at the end, and if I was making this beer, I wouldn't want it to be called juicy because it's not.
No, I really like the Mandarina Bavaria in this because to me that hop tends to give kind of like a very pleasant orange zest with a little bit of the pith on it still, and to me the pith helps kind of add just the dry kind of finish to it instead of like a lingering chalkiness or something sometimes you get with the hazy beers.
And that is kind of, I think, where I definitely tend to lean. If there's one characteristic I noticed while I was home brewing, I tend to like beers that finish drier. And so that's kind of the end. I sit on that end more than leaving a whole lot of residual sugar in there. So
yeah, I think it shows too. I mean, the two other beers that we've had and this one, they finish relatively crisp, and that I think that's, man, if you can, don't worry. Don't people like to, I don't know, him and haw over like 1% of Carafa or whatever. But if I don't want to drink another pint of your beer, then don't worry about it. Like, work on getting it dry. Work on getting that residual down.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the huge factors in making it drinkable and wanting people to have more than one.
Yeah, I agree, Warren.
Yeah, we're right.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're absolutely correct.
Well, another thing is if you can make dry beer, then you have control. Then you can make not so dry beer.
That's right.
You have control over that. So
right.
Yeah.
It's easier to make sweet beer than it is to make dry beer.
But that's what you're saying, Tasty?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you've got control. Like, you say you want to make a multi beer, you want it to finish it like 5 Plato,
or the barley wine, for example,
like 3 Plato or something. Yeah, you can make it happen because you know how to control the yeast and the temperature and your vessel shape and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Why you got to body shame vessel shapes, dude? Yeah. I want vessel positive only from you from now on.
All good-looking stuff. It's all brewery porn to me.
I like shiny things.
Oh, speaking of which,
it's all good-looking stuff.
You have
man.
just 10s and 20s, I assume. No 30s? Or
we're all 10s, actually.
All 10s. All 10s.
Yeah, I've got 12.
Fermenters are all 10s?
12 10-barrel fermenters.
Wow. What are you going to upgrade first?
Well, so since we signed with Stone, I keep thinking about, are we going to have more of a core beer like the Kefe con Leche that we've been putting out basically since we started brewing with EJ. That was one of the first beers we started bottling with them and putting out into Whole Foods. Nice. And so, I want to keep doing that, but I don't want to tie up 4 of my fermenters. And so...
I would expect Stone would want you to carry like a limited number of SKUs. They're not looking to supply rotating taps with your beer.
Right.
They like to have like 4, maybe maybe only 4 core beers. That's gonna.
I would imagine that's the distribution game versus the tap room.
You got room for a 20 barrel fermenter in there?
Yeah, I can move some things around.
I would start maybe looking to put one of those on order. Maybe a 30, and you could.
Alan will tell you that there's not a day that doesn't
cost that much more.
Where I'm texting him, going, "Hey, dude."
Yeah, 30,
I need
man.
two 20-barrel fermenters. I know exactly where to put them. And then get me a canning line. So
yeah, we're working on it. I mean, we're always looking, kind of down the road a little bit. And we're starting to kind of say, all right, what's 2019, 2020 going to hold? It's not going to be the same.
No.
So, it's an exciting time for Camino. It's we're on the road again.
That's right. What do you think about this beer, Warren? You've had a lot of the hazy beers. I know Tasty has as well. Yeah,
I drink a few.
Haven't you? I thought you've been drinking a lot of them.
No.
No?
But
Tasty, what do you think about this beer?
Yeah. I like
You're a
this.
hazy guy. You've had a lot of them.
This is like on the good side of the style.
Agreed.
It doesn't have the high polyphenol content. You could tell this beer is got the same haze characters from the first pint to the last pint in the keg. You can just tell it's all well in suspension, just made true a polyphenol beer rather than a yeast beer.
Yes.
It's definitely hazy, but I would say it's on the lighter side in terms of mouthfeel and kind of the need to floss afterwards.
Well, and this is the type of haze that Kim's wit beer should have had, I feel like, which is on the lighter side.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the nose on this. There is that kind of lemon punch that's not juicy. I do feel like it's departing a little bit from the quote juicy. I hate saying that word, but it's in its own thing. It's a little more refined, a little more focused, and I appreciate that. One thing I don't like about the hazy beers is that they're kind of just scattershot. And there's really no clear thing that you're supposed to get. I don't know. As a home brewer, maybe it's just me, but I don't know. I want like a definition. I want sort of kind of an oblong shaped package to fit something in. But a lot of the hazy beers we've had, they're kind of just they're on one end or the other or the whatever. But this is very clean. It's very focused, and it feels very deliberate, I guess, versus some of the other stuff we've had, which seems very accidental.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the hop combinations in these beers.
Yeah.
They're really intentional, and they work. They're working well together. Like just the varieties.
Yes.
And then it's showing that you understand what each one's bringing to the table because they're just working well together. There's not one that's just like, oh hey, here I am, and you couldn't even tell that the others are in here.
Right.
It's just working really well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was tough coming over to the hazy side of things.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like,
you're fighting all the way.
Yeah, are we insulting you or not?
No.
You said your brewer is the one that kind of pushed this beer.
Well, I mean, Elliot, those hop combinations, a lot of that comes from Elliot. Elliot really understands the hop combinations. Elliot really understands the IPA side of things. And me, I like making stouts. I like making Schwartz beers. I like making, different stuff. And so I know what I do well. I know what he does well. And I, give him free reign to do these.
It's a good partnership, though, because we can cover a lot of different styles in a very effective way.
But man, it was tough.
Absolutely.
He and I had a lot of conversations about, is this really the kind of thing we're West Coast IPA kind of people. we like clear beer. I've spent so much time as a home brewer trying to get beer.
Tell me about it, dude.
Right, trying to make bright beer. Why do I want to then go and intentionally haze it up? But the beautiful thing about Northeast IPAs is, it's a reaction to how the hop bombs that we were getting for a long time there. It shows you that hops can have interesting flavor and aroma compounds, and it's not just about beating you over the head with bitterness. And so our first Northeast IPA that we actually did with as a collaboration with EJ was called Northeast by West, because we acknowledge that we still, when we make these beers, have a West Coast character to them sometimes. They're not as hazy, or they do have a little bit more bite than a traditional, whatever that is, Northeast style IPA brings you. And so, but we like that. We're bringing you something new in a style where everything is continuing to develop, and so we're kind of bringing these things together a little bit more. So I like that edge of the exploration of these beers. So
Well, this beer is great. It's on the low end of hazy, and it exposes the beer. I think that's why we're talking about the hops and because everything's available. And really hazy beers, it's all muddled. It's hard to tell exactly what's going. Everything kind of it's like walking through a fog bank or something like that. Where there's clarity in this beer, you can detect its components.
I appreciate that.
God, how many beers are going to be out there called Fog Bank now? He hit on one, dude. Oh man, fucking genius. Fog Bank. But you're right, it is, and it's weird.
You can detect the components in this beer. It's nice and clear.
Yeah. What's the next beer?
So this is Café con Leche.
There we go. Finally, we're here, boys.
This beer I've been working on since I think it was probably my second. It's probably the second beer that I ever brewed. Was a coffee stout.
So this is a home brewing.
So this is a homebrew originated beer. And I spent a lot of years experimenting with what's the best way to get a coffee flavor into a beer without beating you over the head with bitterness or roasts. And so we got lucky in that we found a partnership with Chromatic Coffee in San Jose. They make great coffee, and we've been real lucky to work hand in hand with them to pick out single origin varietals, usually Ethiopian, but some of them are Colombian. We get wherever they're from. They're always single origin beans, and we cold brew them. And so you get the character of that bean without the bitterness.
You're right.
And so because the coffee's so good, I wanted to create a stout base that would let you taste the coffee. So I dialed back the roast. I even dialed back the body of the beer a little bit. Sure. We add just a little bit of lactose sugar into this to give it that sweetness. And really, the reason we created this is because we drank a lot of Café con Leche as we were going across the Camino through Spain.
I bet.
So espresso 4 or 5 times a day.
Little heart's going. That I just want to put out there is that a lot of our employees at Camino, a lot of the people that joined our team are from the coffee industry.
Oh,
they come from coffee, baristas, and they really know coffee. And everybody tastes, everybody discusses. So it's been good.
You got people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
With this, with the cold brew and adding to the beer, did the folks at the coffee company help you with that, or was that an addition that you were making already?
I've been adding cold brew for a while now. The first one I did was brewed espresso. It was good, but it still had too much of that roast character to it. And so just experimenting along the way. And then when we met Elliot was actually the manager, I think, of B2 Coffee, which is just around the corner from where Alan was working. So they started talking about coffee and beer, and next thing you know, he's calling us up saying, "Hey guys, I want to work for you." So, we call him, or he calls himself, our Swiss Army knife. So,
all right,
he was doing sales and
handy with the tools too. Huh?
That's right. He was doing sales and distribution, and then started brewing the beer. And one of the things that he brought to this was he really refined the cold brew techniques.
He was home brewing too. He had been home brewing for years as well.
Okay.
Great coffee aroma. Great coffee
that
flavor.
aroma is great, man. Wow, it is very complex. Which is always weird, I guess, to call coffee complex. You don't really think about it unless it's cold. Like, I drink cold coffee. I make a big pot, give some to Taryn, I have a cup, and then, by the time I go to take my next cup, because I'm dealing with the kid, coffee's cold. I actually like cold coffee. I think it's like room temperature, like 68-degree coffee is great.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like it.
Oh, it's either got to be hot or ice cold. Like
no,
refrigeration.
You're wrong.
What's
68 degrees.
But it's the first time for everything.
You're right. Well, because I think it really brings out a lot of flavors that you don't get normally. Either it's too hot or too cold. For me, personally.
I'm not saying ice cold.
Yeah.
Just like beer temperature cold.
Sure. Well, let's call it that too.
Okay.
But that's what I appreciate about coffee beers. Is it really it brings, it's a good showcase. Beer is a good showcase for coffee because I think it's at that good temperature where if it's brewed and added the right way, it can really carry those flavors forward that even just hot coffee doesn't really have.
Yeah. When do you guys add it in the process?
Just before we send it over to carbonate, actually.
Okay.
Just before we package it. So Right at the
That's
end.
Great.
Process.
Yeah. And what's the ABV of the beer before the coffee?
The beer
100%.
Not after. After is another thing.
Oh yeah,
before
no,
though.
no, it's basically at final before.
But when you add coffee, then that lowers the alcohol.
Right, so it's like 6.7, 6.8, something like that. So it comes down to 6.5. But I mean, we're not.
That's not much.
It may not be that high even because it doesn't take much. That's the thing. When we were doing the 30 barrel batches at EJ, we were only adding 30 gallons of cold brew to it, and so it really
that's nothing.
A barrel,
yeah. So it's not much
more.
Than
a 30.
point,
Are they a 30 barrel of brew house?
Right, that's right.
So yeah, one barrel.
Strong coffee.
Yeah. So
I like how the lactose and the coffee work together.
Yeah, the lactose I would never have thought of. I guess because we have had some coffee beers on the show and homebrews or whatever that is. It's too dry.
It gets thin and acidic.
Yes.
Very easily with coffee, and the lactose does a lot to, I think, just balance that out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think you've used enough lactose for me to even detect it. It seems like it's below the flavor threshold.
Yeah, it's just there. There's just a hint of sweet that I think balances against that roast a little bit.
Anytime you got the roast and any chocolate character, that'll bring that out.
How much do you add, if I can ask you?
This works out to only about 20 gallons. It's about 20 gallons. We've upped it a little bit since.
I'm sorry, the lactose.
Oh,
yeah,
lactose.
Like percentage-wise.
Percentage of fermentable.
Yeah, it's less than 10 pounds.
Oh my God!
So it's about 10 pounds for a 10 barrel batch.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
People at home can do the math. That is a good little tweak in there.
Yeah, it's on the lighter side for a traditional milk stout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, would you call this a milk stout?
I mean,
I don't
technically,
think so.
Technically, it is a sweet stout, but that's not really the heart of it. It is more of a coffee stout.
Yeah. And so this won in a coffee beer only competition.
Right.
I had no idea this existed, and I feel shorted and gypped and attacked personally to not know about it.
I think they purposely didn't let you know.
That seems like what they would do, those motherfuckers.
Whatever we do, don't let him know.
Don't tell JP at all, ever. In Sacramento.
Right. And so Alan and I actually went to law school right around the corner from where the competition's held every year. This is the fourth year, I think, that they've done it this year. Beers and Sac is the one that sponsors it and runs the thing. And they have they call it the West Coast Coffee Beer Fest, and it has a commercial competition that comes along with it. So I think Alaska won one year, Ballast Point won last year.
So it's not limited to just craft beer.
Right.
That's too bad.
Well, there's some.
That's a jab at Ballast
all
Point.
the breweries in Sacramento were participating in that.
Nice.
Right.
Locals as well as regionals.
Local, regional, and from all over the place. And so we would love to get some more competition in there for sure. I think there may have been as many as, 60 breweries contributing this last year.
What? And there are you can go and get a ticket and all that. When is this?
It was in November 14th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like late October, early November every year.
Warren, we got work to do.
Well, the date changes and it moves cities. So it's going to be very hard for you to find.
Oh, shit. So you think I shouldn't even try?
Right, yeah.
Don't even think about
Forget about it.
Damn.
Forget about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
You can have some next year.
But this beer is available year round, so you just keep having this.
That's right.
Keep
coming to
get 60 cans of this, and that's just all I need.
Yeah.
This beer you can find in Whole Foods pretty regularly.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, the distribution on this beer is pretty wide.
Do you guys work with the roaster and kind of have a custom roasting process for the coffee you're using?
We haven't gotten to that point yet, mainly because Chromatic does such an amazing job with their coffee, and so
we work with them. We work with the president of Chromatic Coffee, a guy named Ivor. Is the he comes in and we meet up with him and they're tasting it and looking at what varieties are available and so they play a part for sure.
Right, but I would never sit there and tell him, this bean needs to be a little darker or you need to roast this a little hotter or whatever. That's not my game.
I've heard of on the other hand, I've heard of breweries working with roasters and they roast completely different for beers are going to be cold brew it's going to be made into cold brew.
Yeah.
And Elliot and our taproom manager Eric, who is also from coffee and actually was Elliot's manager when Elliot started in coffee. Those guys may have dreams of doing that, and I'm happy to set them free to go through that creative process with Chromatic. But Chromatic's doing such a great job, and we haven't had any coffee out of any of the batches that we've been doing with them over the last 4 years that we wish were different in any way. So,
or it's like homebrew. You can always pull like 5 gallons aside and add a whole different cold brew.
Yeah, you can experiment and
serve that over the tap house, or you could have like 5 different coffee and
we do that. We've had a bunch of different varieties over the years. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, not stuck on any one.
I mean, that's a fun part. I've been saying for a long time on the show, especially with coffee, is it depends on the coffee bean, the origin, how it's roasted, but more importantly, the recipe it's going into. So if this, because to me this recipe lends for a lot more flavor, secondary coffee flavors than stout flavors. Even though they're very complementary. I wouldn't necessarily want to feel the need to go in and tweak how the roast is. But some of the stouts that people are adding coffee to, they're very big and robust. And so then I think you would have to add that because you want a lighter roast coffee, and then you can kind of work with the thing. But I wouldn't screw with this really at all.
That's a tough question, right? I mean, when is a beer done?
Yeah.
When I pee it.
I mean, you could continue to experiment.
You could experiment
forever.
And develop the recipe and the process and everything. And then 3 or 4 years, you're going to taste another beer somewhere and go like, oh, I got to change mine.
Yeah,
just like this.
And then you overthink
blow the whole thing up.
Like me with my stupid oatmeal stout. I've overthought that thing so far that it's a porter now.
Doesn't even have oatmeal.
No, it's just water. Really.
It's 4 SRM, doesn't have oatmeal.
Yeah, it's non-alcoholic.
60 IBUs.
Yeah, I basically just fart in it, and I sell it. I mean, I don't sell it.
No, you would never do that.
No, I would never do that. Bev, I think we're going to get a couple more beers in here, huh? What do you think? That's my polite way of going, hey, Bev, pay attention. And
I can do that.
All right.
I just thought you only wanted to do 2.
No, also, do me a favor and scream into the microphone again.
Yeah. Pause Candy Crush.
Okay.
And get some beer.
And, any good reading materials over there? Like, while we're waiting for the beer or anything? That go in there?
Oh, are you asking Bev or me?
You.
No. He wants another live read.
Well, I do want to tell you. He does. I want to tell you about Pico Brew.
Oh, what they do?
Pico Brew is back, and we've talked a little bit before. Warren and I have on Heads and Tails, very popular show.
Oh, one of the most popular shows on the internet.
Yeah, you go to thebrewingnetwork.com and then all the episodes, all the shows.
How many are out there? If I was so indulgent.
12.
Oh no,
in a dozen. Nice.
Actually, this is our year anniversary, so we might be up to like 14 or 15 because we overachieved in the first month and added
we dropped 3 in the first month.
Well, anything coming up we should know about? Any sort of like specials?
We've got one coming up next week.
What are you covering?
With Iron Root Republic, a distillery out of Texas.
All right,
we have a lot of bourbons to try, and their barrel strength.
I'm ready for that.
And you'll be trying them. They'll be on the air and
yes,
with you.
Right. Yeah, we'll be drinking. It's just like 55% alcohol, and we'll just be trying maybe 5 or 6 different ones.
Yeah, gallons.
Just wetting the lips.
Right.
I hope. Right.
We'll be very concise, talking in complete sentences. For the
I'm
whole
already having
show.
a hard time getting. But if you if you've heard Heads and Tails, we've talked a little bit about the Pico Still.
Yes.
So if you're into not distilling alcohol because it's illegal,
that'd be illegal.
In the United States, but I don't really know the rules everywhere else. So if you don't live in the United States,
I don't think there are rules anywhere else.
It's just no man's land.
Yeah.
It's basically Mad Max and then the United States of America.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But check them out, picobrew.com. They have the Pico Still. Warren and I are going to get one supposedly soon. Again, still.
To distill water.
No pun intended. But they have the new Z series coming out too, which is a more condensed, lighter version of the Zymatic.
Yes.
And that works in conjunction with the Pico Still. So if you want to do some tinkering on your home brew, a lot of people think, well, if I get a Pico Brew, it's just a robot brewing for me. You can still keep your system. You don't need to throw away your 10-gallon system or sell it or give it away like I did, because I actually hate brewing, but I like recipe formulation and tasting.
The results.
That's what I appreciate. And this allows me to do that. But if you want help with that, or if you want to do some distillation of herbal whatevers.
Making hop extracts.
I wonder how I wonder if you can make your own tasty. I wonder if you can
I'll make it up.
your own THC extract tinctures with the Pico Still, because it's legal in California and it's not distilling varietal alcohol.
Of course,
well, you'd have to get it into an alcohol like the alcohol would all distill away. If you got the THC to dissolve into the alcohol, when you distilled it, it would just all and
then that would be focused to the
all the alcohol would go away.
THC is alcohol soluble, so
but THC is not lighter than alcohol.
It might stay behind.
It might stay behind.
So you don't know.
Just do the tincture.
I suggest buying a Pico Still.
Anyway,
going down to your neighborhood legal dispensary and testing.
Me, I look forward to the day when
stops.
you can. I look forward to the day when you can actually crossbreed hops and pot. Right? I mean, they're the same family. You should be able to do it.
Yeah, it seems.
That would be. Yeah, I mean, why hasn't anybody done that? I bet you there's some dude somewhere who's been doing this for like 35 years, who only eats like Spam. You should be louder with that.
Clank. How else would we know she's doing something?
It's true. But, I mean, that's a good point. You gotta... There's someone has to have done that by now.
Oh, yeah.
And like in
Nature
Humboldt
might have
somewhere.
done it.
That's true. Man, I will only plant my hops near my pot. That's all I do.
Now, someone's done it, but they're in jail. They've been in jail for 20 years.
That's true. Yeah.
Man, you want to hear a weird story?
Speaking of jail,
just another live read.
Jail. I actually asked me where I've been during the weekends for the last 6 weeks. No, there's a documentary. Oh fuck, what's it called?
Murder Mountain.
Murder Mountain.
Yep.
You've seen it?
Yes.
How'd you guess that? Holy shit!
Because we were talking about Humboldt County.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix. So check it out if you're into pot, I guess, or whatever. But it starts about missing people, and Humboldt County has like the highest rate of missing people. In the country.
At least California.
At least California. Yeah. Because you get a lot of trimmers. People come up from wherever, they're backpacking in, and they want to trim pot, and then they disappear. But I wonder how many of them are disappearing from their family, and they're like, no, I'm here, but they're found in like 3 days.
Yeah, I just don't want to talk to them.
Yeah. But there's a couple of times it's been highlighted. There's a little town called Shelter Cove. Did you see that part in the thing? It's where my wife's family has they have a house, and they're following this dude, Jason Dookie.
Right.
And his house is right next door to my family's house. And so there's a point in the show where they someone throws a rock.
Right, exactly.
In the dude's
he ends
window,
up with a broken window,
and he's like taping up the window. That's our backyard.
Did you see that window taped up the last time you were there?
We were talking to Taryn's family. Like, we were there. We saw that. We saw that happen. And it just it tripped me the hell out. But anyway, it's a cool documentary, so check it out.
Supposedly that guy is a really good grower. Have you...
yes, actually, he's apparently he's really good.
Did they ever explain where the people go that are missing? I mean, they
die.
They were missing before they die, right?
It turns out it's cheaper to kill them than
so
pay
they
them.
spend like 3 days trimming weed, and then now they're owed like... $300, and the guy somebody just kills him or something.
Yeah, I think it's for more than that. I mean, so like one of the guys is they follow the thread, and he was owed like $50,000.
See, knock him on.
And that's someone you would get.
So that's
rid of.
the whole. That's why people go missing the money thing. Okay.
The problem is
you have something to say.
Oh no, I'm a defense attorney. I can't say anything about it.
My clients are all innocent.
Actually, I was consulting on that, and I have an NDA. It's very ironclad. Anyway, just hey man, the things you talk about when you're filling time. What is this beer, Beverly?
So this is.
I can't say it.
This is the Waters of Lave.
Waters of Lave.
This is the
very hard word.
Yeah, sound out water.
Well, Bev doesn't drink water.
Well, it is kind of a.
She drinks cheese.
Yeah, it is kind of a difficult word to pronounce, and
Also, suck it.
Oh.
And we hesitated with the name at first, but the goddess of forgetfulness and having to drink from the waters to forget your past life is just kind of too perfect. It's a double Northeast style. It's Citra, Huel Melon, and Azaka.
Wow, that's a good combo.
Comes in at 8%.
That is very fresh tasting, like fresh fruit. Not dried fruit, not essence of, but it tastes like fresh, almost like a mango guava thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A little bit of pineapple in there, maybe.
Yeah. Is it just a scaled up recipe of the all work and no play?
For the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most
Bigger
part.
version.
I love this
Interesting.
beer. I think this is a great beer.
Wow, it's an easy drinker. 8%. Huh?
That is really smooth, man. That is very easy.
That is one other thing that I've always prided myself on is how messed up can I get you without you knowing? So I like big beers that don't taste like big beers. We've got a couple of 11, 12, 13%ers that I could drink all day.
Wow.
And home brewing, right? I mean, you make a home brew and you're like, oh, that turned out to be 8%. You know,
that's what it is,
right?
Yeah, right. This was supposed to be a goza.
Least
Right. It's
problem,
now 8%.
Right, so that carries through. So it works
Yeah.
really well. Stay true to your roots.
That's a very good beer. I don't know if drinking this, Warren, I don't know if I would, number one, sight unseen, right? Know that it's a hazy beer, which I am paying as a compliment.
Yes.
And then, two, that it's 8%.
I would not guess that it's 8%. And I think in a glass where you couldn't see the beer.
Yeah.
Because the bitterness is not high for a double IPA, but to me it's on the top end of what I've had on the hazy IPAs. And not that the hazy IPAs I've enjoyed the most are the ones that actually have some bitterness to me. And so I would agree with you.
They're not as muddled.
Yeah,
Right,
there is bitterness there, but you know, and you were talking about the bitterness just now, and I had to take another sip because I don't remember any bitterness being in there.
It's not something overtly bitter,
right? But it's so hidden.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment.
There's one moment, and if you don't hang on to it, as Ferris Bueller says, you lose it.
Oh,
so
the wise philosopher.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes,
but you know what I mean. And again, I think that's a compliment to how the beer is layered and constructed, where it is very hop focused. It's like a donut. The bitterness is the middle, and everything else is just kind of hop character.
You know, there is no middle to a donut.
Sure, there is.
It's empty on the inside.
That's where the middle is.
Holes,
right. There you go.
You have to buy them separately.
Warren, don't. You know what? We got the Greek connection going on. Don't worry about it.
You do you.
Don't worry. I'm trying to.
Just forget about it.
I'm going to drink from the river again.
Wait, what's going on? No, it's a very good beer. I would not guess that it's double at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is like we still have that West Coast foundation, and so we still try and you can bring some of that through and still express the good things about a Northeast style, right? So you can still have a little bit of bitterness as long as you're showing off the flavor and aroma compounds that people really want to see in these beers. So
just like the Cafe Con Leche, just using the lactose and the coffee and using the bitterness and the residual mouthfeel and body of the beer to just make beers that just finish so well that you just want to keep drinking them.
Right.
I just want to smell that Cafe Con Leche over and over again. I'm smelling it right now, even as we're talking about the IPA.
I'll leave the rest of them with you guys.
I'm going to take them all home. I'm going to fight everybody for that. Would you say you have, I know this, the F word, the flagship word, is very bad right now in beer, but would you say you had one?
Well, so I think it's something we've been debating as we've been kind of coming into 2019, trying to tell this story. Is there room for like a core four or flagship beers? I mean, I think there are certainly things that we're known for. Cafe Con Leche is one of those things that we're known for, and people come in and ask for it and look for it. And so, it's hard to say we're not going to make that beer anymore. And so I think it'll always be around. Maybe not all the time, but I think it'll always be there.
It's like a redefining of flagship.
Right. I mean, there are certain things you come back to. They're not certain things necessarily that are always on. But the other, kind of what we settled on as we're still trying to figure this out, is we're going to produce this beer in cans and distribute it, even if we're not necessarily having it on tap in the tap room. And so,
well, you won't be able to. You're going to send it all out. Or
right.
Any major portion of it, you're going to be out of it.
Right, but we'll sell it in the tap room as well. And so
you'll run out so quick.
We'll sell the cans.
The cans themselves.
Yeah, in the tap
but you'll
room.
run out because you're not. I mean, you're spreading it.
Right. But you'll still be able to come in at certain points, right, on the release date and make sure you get some cafe.
Get a little line going, okay.
Right?
All right.
So I think it's hard to say, and just because this beer is part of the core of what Camino is really and how long it's been around and one of the things that, we brought back from Spain with us. And so it's tough to say we're not going to make this beer anymore. So
I think that the industry has seen, this kind of onslaught, right, of new breweries. And so every retailer is constantly changing out the brands, changing out the beer styles.
Yeah.
But I think that, Camino, the way it began, the way that it's the way that it is today, is this, we're kind of creating this family, right? I think we're kind of taking beer back to where craft breweries were at a time when, it wasn't so much about business. It was really more about this exciting, creative, organic kind of community that kind of comes together. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job of we're doing that, And I think that ultimately that's what's going to survive. It's that, we're not trying to just be, competitive in the industry. We're trying to make great beers. Where the brew house is our number one priority, and then we're trying to grow, a community of friends, that want to be part of our journey, and see how we change and evolve, over the years. And so far, that's what we've been doing, and it's working. It's working for us,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I think there is a measure of you got to listen to your community, to listen to the people who are walking in your tap room, and so. They want Northeast IPAs, we'll give them Northeast IPAs. If they want Cafe con Leche, we'll give them Cafe con Leche. And then we'll also, at the same time, we're going to do the stuff that we like to do and try and open people's horizons to new and different things. So.
You definitely got to show the modern drinker what else there is. Right. Because everyone climbs on that hype train, especially on, Instagram or whatever. Everyone wants to take that cool photo, but there's other beers out there, and that's got to be part of the challenge is brewing what you like, brewing styles that attract you to beer as a home brewer versus what pays the bills.
Absolutely.
And I got to imagine that's a weird situation to be in.
But it's a fun problem to have.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. All right, we're going to take a break.
We've earned it.
We've earned it. We've earned this. Why won't you open? Okay, connection lost. Now it's working.
The internet just went down?
No, this stupid. For some reason, we have wireless devices in the studio, like wireless keyboards and wireless mice, and I don't know why when God made a perfectly good cord, the cord system, the USB.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate that you're the last friend that I have that still has a landline.
I do?
If you're talking about wired things.
I don't want to talk to you, Warren. I just muted you. I turned off Warren's microphone, so the show's going to get infinitely better right now.
The Twitter game's going to suck.
Hey, with the premise you set me up for, what did you expect?
Whatever. Alan and Nathan, thank you very much, you guys. Camino Brewing. You go to CaminoBrewing.com to learn more. We're going to just take a quick break and do a little bit of beer news. If you want to stay for that, it's cool. If you want to get going, I know you got like a 12-hour drive. No, it's about like an hour and a half.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate being here.
Very welcome. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good beers, man. It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Warren will be available for hugs later.
Or now.
It's fine, too. Stick with us, everybody. It's a session. Like I said, we're going to do a smattering of beer news, and then we're going to get out of here, too. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hey, what's up? This is Blake from Creature Comforts. You're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
I wish I had an escape tunnel to get out of this show right now because Bev and Kim are bonding over fashion.
Last week's show, I was like,
You have to talk onto the microphone.
Over eyewear.
Yeah, we are.
We're on.
Notice the headphones on, and I'm speaking into the microphone. That means we're on the air.
And
Kim?
welcome back.
Well, if we had enough headphones for all participants in the studio,
This
then
is a low-budget
perhaps
operation.
This is a very
we would know what was going on.
If only we had a producer who could make sure
Earbuds
that
would
there's
be like
I can't make
equipment in the
purchases
studio.
without authorization.
Oh, no,
Talk to your
no.
boy.
She doesn't need. Her and I are in the same room. She doesn't need headphones. She can hear me.
Yeah.
They're also like two
but you
seats
didn't know-
over, and that's pretty far for me to go.
You can sit over there. Now that
I know. But it's like I would have to get up and physically move, is the thing.
Fair.
You all know Beersmith is a beer recipe building and brewing software on the market, and it offers a 21-day free trial, so you can check it out for yourself. Well, now Beersmith just got better with the release of Beersmith 3.
What?
Wow.
I don't know how you didn't know this, Warren.
I did.
2 was amazing.
It's tattooed on you.
I also
can't
don't
imagine.
listen to you.
No, that's too bad. In addition to all the amazing features
Your Honor,
already in Beersmith, Beersmith 3 now offers the following. There's a full colon, so I know that it's a list. Support for mead, wine, and cider recipes for the first time ever. Water profile tool built into the recipe builder so you can build and match water profiles within a beer recipe. Mash pH estimation and adjustment, all sorts of cool stuff. Boil adjustments for high altitude brewing.
Oh.
So go to beersmith.com today and get your 21-day free trial. So with all that stuff, it's still free for 21 days. You can still give it a shot.
Yeah. You have 21 days to figure out that you can't live without it.
That's true. Basically, it's like rent to own. You know, but you don't pay anything, and then you can just wait the 21 days. What is it, like $30 or something like that? It's not even
$29.95 or something.
There you
there. You go. It's not even. It's not even
Oh
a
my
big
God!
deal.
Yeah,
it makes your life so much
waste
easier.
one batch of beer for like a $30. Come on,
right? All right, we're going to do a little bit of beer news. 2 stories, maybe even 3. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
You.
But no, definitely not me. Why would I? It's brought to you by Drake's. Go to drinkdrakes.com.
Oh, great people.
Yeah, check them out. Check out all the places you can buy fresh, delicious Drake's beer. They're all over the Bay Area. All over. Where? How far do they distribute? Tasty, do you know? You would know.
They're into Nevada a little bit, but otherwise all over California.
Yeah,
Oh, really? Still just California and Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like they're just omnipresent here in California. You kind of just take it for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're from out of town and you're visiting, definitely check out
Drake's.
All right, this is a good story. I just want you to know that's a good story. A Washington, D.C. brewery is suing the acting U.S. Attorney General over its inability to sell labeled beer during the partial government shutdown. Atlas Brew Works filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. In the suit, which was first reported by DCist, I don't know why I read that, the D.C. brewer argues that the shutdown has affected its ability to sell labeled beer and that this represents a violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah. How did they file it if the government's shut down?
That's a good
Did
point.
they just slip it under the door?
Yes. Delivered.
Push it through the.
That seems like a Hail Mary or maybe just like a big FU, Nathan, but I mean, I don't know. A violation of the First Amendment?
This sounds like a brewery that's owned by lawyers.
What lawyer would open a brewery? I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Well, it does at first, but the way the laws are written for essentially acquiring, every American citizen has the right to manufacture and sell alcohol if they jump through the right hoops. It's up to the government to disqualify you from getting one. Okay. And so if you have that right and then you want to call your product something, that's what your speech, like you're using your voice. Because businesses are people now also. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, corporations are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, not businesses, corporations.
If they donate enough money to the government.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so the TTB, you have to get label approval, especially if you're selling beer across state lines. And so the TTB is not approving any labels right now. And nobody's getting paid to work there. So... hey, I like any lawsuit that takes this administration to task.
And this is a problem across all alcohol manufacturing. Wine and spirits are also under the same thing.
Oh, really? Same TTB channel? Okay.
Yeah. And actually...
the First Amendment, that's just, your explanation makes sense. Does his explanation make sense? Is it correct?
Factually? If you look at it as speech, right? You're expressing an opinion through your beer, through your beer name. You could definitely call it.
It's a printed keg collar. That's what we're really talking about for keg beer going out of state.
That's true.
Yeah, printed document.
And actually, the guys that were on the last show from Hidden Mother, how they were talking about opening up their tasting room, they're being affected by the shutdown because they can't get their final approval to open because the inspectors aren't going around and approving everything.
In San Jose, we're facing the same thing. There's a new brewery that's about to open, but they can't get their brewer's permit from the TTB for the same reason.
Yeah.
So they're losing money every day.
You get to pay rent. Congratulations.
Right. No money.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The brewer says in the lawsuit that the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau approved labels for cans of a beer called the Precious One, but labels for kegs, like Tasty, what you were saying, of the beverage did not receive an approval before the shutdown, and shipping them outside of the D.C. area would violate federal law. The lawsuit says 40 barrels of this beer, which will expire in 120 days, have been sitting in a tank since January 3rd. Justin Cox, founder and CEO of Atlas, says, "We see our labels as a form of speech. That's how we speak to our consumers. We're unable to exercise that right without approval from the federal government." The lawsuit comes as the partial government shutdown, which began on December 22nd, persists into its fourth week. It's the longest shutdown in American history. Atlas is seeking an order that would bar Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker from enforcing federal law if Atlas were to package and sell labeled kegs without the necessary approval. So what they're saying, hey, if we violate the law, you can't prosecute us, and that's what they're...
Well, no, they're saying you can't come after us for not getting the proper documentation, the proper approval, even if the label does meet all the requirements. So we obviously they're not brand new on the scene, so they know what's required on the keg label.
Right.
It's just
no nudity. Come on,
yeah,
go for it.
And so it's like if we're not breaking any of the other laws, just because you didn't say yes, we can, like you can't come after us, is what they're wanting.
Yeah.
But I know that you're really worried about this. But the TTB tax collection arm is still active, so they will definitely take the excise taxes and everything. Right? Yeah.
Well, I was going to say
they expect them. There's someone waiting for them. They just won't let you
They
make more money.
They didn't put that guy in furlough, huh?
Right? No,
the expecting guy.
Yeah.
It is funny because we got a letter from the IRS actually that said that we owe like less than $200, like $192.
Okay.
And Taryn's like, I paid that. I'm like, of course you did, because I told you to do it. Because I'm the man, and I demand that you do things that I say.
That's my job.
Yeah, right. And so she pays it again, but she tries to call the IRS. But they're shut down, so you can't call them.
Sure.
So then a couple weeks later, we get a letter in the mail that there's like a lien pending on us because we owe this amount of money. So we've paid the money now 3 times, but we can't get through to anybody to discuss the problem. So we just keep paying them,
is the check getting canceled?
No, it's like direct, like electronic.
Oh,
they're taking the money.
They're taking it,
but they're not recording that they've taken the money.
Well, and they're thanking you for it every time.
Yeah,
by sending you another letter.
Just wait for that refund.
That's right. So I'm with interest. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of money. This is from the attorney who filed the suit on Atlas's behalf. He says Atlas can't function without labeling its products. Nobody would buy an unmarked liquid. I think that's the true takeaway.
Really?
That's the real consumer insight takeaway.
Big
Nobody.
leap there.
Yeah, right. You've never been to a Grateful Dead concert?
All kinds of unmarked liquids.
Right. Anyway, I thought it was really interesting and good for them for challenging what's going on. But I do really feel bad for a lot of the breweries. You guys aren't affected by this, right? Are you, Nathan? Or
no, it really hasn't been something that has impacted us all.
Yeah.
So I mean, we distribute locally. We focus on our home markets, and so we're not going out of the state at all. So we got our brewer's permit more than a year ago now. So we were on top of all that and got lucky on the timing. So
yeah,
I'm really glad that you're here. So that way, hopefully, you can answer this question. But
me?
No, not you.
Oh.
Kim is who I'm talking to.
I got this.
Kim's still here?
Who?
I wonder what she does for a living.
I was wondering why this wouldn't be a class action suit, like amongst all of the breweries that are waiting for label approval.
It would qualify, right?
Well, it seems like you could get everybody together, and that would be more powerful. I don't know a whole lot about the class action laws, whether or not the freedom of speech argument is up for a class action suit or not. There are different ways to bring lawsuits, and sometimes it's more powerful to bring it together. Sometimes it's better to bring it on your own. So,
okay. Because just imagine if you had 2,000 breweries and 2,000 wineries and 1,000 craft distillers all saying, "Hey."
It's also possible they reached out to a few people and couldn't get a whole lot of takers too.
It's true.
Sure.
Well, there's got to be some benefit. If you join the group, if you're allowed to send out your kegs and no repercussions of sending them out without TTB approval, great. But if you don't want to do that, there's no benefit for you to join the group.
Got to be like the Wild West, man. People pouring tequila just straight into kegs, man. Half tequila, half barley wine.
Fortified beer, no problem.
Well, if the keg's blank, I'm not going to have it.
That's true. I would never buy an unlabeled liquid.
No.
Where's the fun in that?
No. We're going to have to stick it out.
It's going to be real interesting to see how this does or doesn't shake out.
Yeah, for sure. Flying Dog Brewery is in the news. Maybe you've forgotten about Flying Dog.
Who are they?
Exactly. Pot and non-alcoholic beer and seltzer is apparently a mixture that's happening. Flying Dog Brewery is the latest craft brewery to experiment in the segment, partnering with Greenleaf Medical Cannabis, which always cracks me up that people call pot medicine. I mean, there's like medical, it can help with certain things, but calling it medicine, I don't. It makes me laugh. I don't know why.
I spent my 20s calling it medicine.
Opium was medicine back in the day.
Yeah, cocaine and opium was medicine together.
Yes.
It's
the good old days, I think they were called.
That's my net. We were watching Border Patrol and Security on Netflix, and this guy is like, his bag's being searched through, and like, oh, what's in this canister? That's my medicine, and it's just like nugs of pot. Like, bro, come on, man, it's not your medicine, it's weed. Anyway,
so there's a reality show.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just like TSA. It's a live camera on TSA, essentially.
Yeah, but specifically just on border. So it's either like the physical border where you drive your car through, or at the airports.
Okay.
And it's It's really good. I don't know, man. I love it so much. It's great because people try to lie and they come over on different visas, but then it's a whole thing, man. Anyway, they're going to release Maryland's first THC infused beer this year. The beer, a non-alcoholic India Pale Ale, of course, named Hop Chronic.
Huh.
A little too on the nose for me, but whatever. Will serve as a medical delivery system to provide Maryland medical cannabis patients with therapeutic cannabinoids, including CBD, CBG, and THC.
CBG?
I've never heard of CBD. CBD, I mean, that's like a medical thing. I know people who take
medicine.
it. Right. I didn't think THC was like the medicine, but
that's the get you high part.
Right. Without the patient having to smoke or vape the cannabis. This is very clinical.
You got to drink it,
yeah. The product will be released at dispensaries throughout Maryland and will be available in 6-packs.
I feel like this is also...
or single serve 12-ounce kits.
IPA has lost all meaning. If you're going to have a non-alcoholic THC seltzer
medicine
and put IPA on it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point.
In 6-packs.
It's a 6-pack of medicine.
What a Trojan horse.
Right.
But it's IPA, but it's seltzer water with no alcohol and weed in it, but it's also an IPA.
Yeah. It's got to sell.
Only because it's IPA.
Well, like they say, it's a delivery mechanism for the CBDs, CBGs, whatever those are.
For medicine.
THC.
Yes.
It's a delivery system for medicine.
Hop Chronic IPA will only be available at licensed dispensaries and only to people who have a medical recommendation for the use of cannabis. Hop Chronic IPA will be available in a variety of THC and CBD potencies.
Oh, is Maryland a medicinal only, not recreational? That's
which is why like the word medicine comes up a lot. I'm kind of waiting for that in California. Like I'm surprised. Isn't it happening, Tasty, in California? Aren't there a couple people? Constellation
making
doing some shit.
A seltzer water that is THC flavored doesn't have any active ingredients. But they've also make another one that goes into the clubs. They are we used to be called clubs. Now they're just pot shops. You can, with your driver's license here in California, you can go in there and buy a can of Lagunitas Get You High IPA.
Yeah.
They also did one that isolated some of the terpenes in marijuana, some of the aroma compounds.
That's what's in their water.
And infused the beer with the aroma compounds. Cellar Maker had one where they were infusing CBDs. So there's definitely people experimenting with it out there.
Lagunitas is actually, they put hops in water and then add yeast to do the biotransformation.
Yeah,
and then they take that over to a dispensary where it's actually infused with the
active ingredient.
The medicine. It's infused with the medicine at the marijuana certified facility.
I see.
And then they package it after the hop water has been infused with the extract, and then it's carbonated and packaged.
Why don't we have some of this fun
people.
shit for my like high cholesterol medicine or my thyroid medicine?
THC in your thyroid?
No, but just like I want like synthetic thyroid hormone infused fucking seltzer water that tastes like IPA. That's what I want. Why can't I have it
instead of just shoving a pill down your throat?
Yeah.
We'll just have Taryn grind it up. And then put it in a LaCroix. There you go.
Shit.
Throw a shot in there, too.
There you go.
Get a little buzz.
Apparently CBD is legal.
Yes.
Like across all 50 states.
Right.
I didn't know that.
It's not THC.
No.
I don't
this
know about
person,
CBG. Whatever
that is.
I think they shut down. They were in New York. Big club. Flying Dog CMO Ben Savage says, we see a lot of interest in cannabis from the craft beer community. Weird. Interest. And we jumped at the opportunity to partner with Greenleaf on a product that captures the passion and energy you see in fans of both craft beer and cannabis. I've never seen
to get high.
Energy from stoners, but
I never would describe a stoner as energetic.
I mean, you've never been to a Fish concert, so you wouldn't know. But you've been to Burning Man. You should at least know some of this.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but
there's
the
cocaine
energetic
there.
people, right? I was going to say there are different energizers there.
Anyway, blah blah blah. I thought it was super interesting again.
Yeah.
So
only available in dispensaries.
When is the cocaine seltzer water going to come out?
That's true. God. What is it called? Freud seltzer water?
I need to clear my sinuses.
Is it in Oregon or Washington where they're talking about thinking about making shrooms legal?
Oh, really?
I thought Washington.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oregon or
yeah,
Washington?
that's a good point.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, microdosing, I'm super interested in it.
In LSD?
No, like psilocybin, like mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms.
I mean, like just enough to feel something, but not to see trees breathing.
They're breathing all the time.
Well, I mean, that's true. But you think you get a lot of that. I hear microdosing can also change, which may or may not be why I'm interested in it.
Your psychological profile.
Like can change.
Probably not. Yeah.
It can change like chronically pessimistic people.
Yeah.
It can
turn
change
them into what?
Dickheads.
Normal.
I think.
Yeah, right.
You're total assholes.
You're just an asshole.
You're already halfway there.
If you were trying to be
Actually, they're going to turn them into racist trans people, and so it's you'll be.
They're already experimenting.
It's a weird mix of things.
It's like going through the Pyrenees and you transform yourself. That's really...
Speaking of transformations, I don't know where this is going. Neshaminy Creek Brewing. Jeremy over there in Neshaminy, who, by the way, I'm still waiting. He's told me 3 times he's going to send me a bunch of beer, and he hasn't
sending
done
those
it.
Johns?
Man, I like to have one right now.
But he's got my address 4 times. Hey, bro, what's your address for the John?
Are you just saying
It's 339 John Street.
John.
Right. Neshaminy Creek Brewing has been brewing award-winning beers in Croydon, Pennsylvania since 2012. If you can even imagine a time that was called 2012. Proud winners of 4 Philly Beer Scene Magazine Awards for Brewer of the Year and 3 for Brewery of the Year. 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner, also bronze for their smoked in lager in 2016 and 2017. Too many numbers here. I can't deal with it. But they have a big-assed tap room. Their tap room is a big...
Assed?
Yeah, big-assed. It's a big old onion booty. Makes the
big
world
place
cry.
to party in the back?
With 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating and seasonal or limited beers. A variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers, even oak fermented saisons and sour beers. But if you can't make it to Croydon or don't know where it is, hit up their second location in Jenkintown called the Borough Brew House, which features a full menu and 22 beers on tap, including guest taps from local breweries, meaderies, as well as Pennsylvania cider. Check out NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com.
West Coast cities' names are so much more boring.
San Jose, Concord, Jenkintown, Flibbitsburg, Jonquille. I think that's everybody.
What
I've
about
hit.
the Twitter game?
Yeah, I'm just checking my live reads there. Mom, don't worry about it. I'm just kidding. Warren, we have a Twitter game. It's brought to us by Hidden Moon. So help Michael Fairbrother at Moonlight Meadery.
That's right.
Do his Johns. Go to moonlightmeadery.com. Warren, our Twitter game was Name the Brewing Network Band and its lineup and roles.
Wow.
Well,
3-parter.
Well, you know.
They added that on.
Yeah.
Well, because, look, man, I'm trying to help. It's a collaborative essence.
You know that Twitter only has 240 characters, right? Is that? I don't even know how many.
It's 9, actually,
Oh, okay.
yeah. What do you think?
That's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
For 9
so we
characters.
only got 6 or 7. Maybe it's because
there's probably 20, but you're just not clicking on the right thing.
Bro, I will fucking refresh right now. There's 20 now, which is weird. I had no idea that this would be a thing, but there's 20. How did you know?
Refresh is a thing now.
Wow.
I don't know. It says 7. There's even a number. Okay. You ready for this?
Sure.
All right.
Hopefully there's a winner in there.
We'll find out.
Well, we'll find one.
Joe Herring. Which, really, if my last name was Herring, why isn't your Twitter account just called Red Herring? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. And then you could just shitpost.
Shitpost?
Never mind. Sugar Valley Backups is what the band would be called. Beardy, lead guitar.
Oh, hey.
JP, bass. There we go. Tasty on drums.
Oh.
Okay.
What do you think? Can you keep time, Tasty? Are you a drummer?
Well, I think I'd be a better bass player.
Yeah, I think you'd be a good hype man.
I play a little.
Like flavor.
Shaker Egg.
Like
He's the merch guy?
I can't do the vocals.
Shaker Egg.
What?
I could see Tasty playing a mean Shaker Egg.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what that is.
That's a combustion.
Yeah, combustion. That's exactly what it is.
Whatever.
Is it like a cowbell?
Tasty would just light himself on fire.
Like a cowbell.
Justin would be a no-show.
Percussion.
Okay.
And Bev would be hiding from the headliner.
All right.
That's pretty good.
How many
Joe,
bars? We'll play it.
put you on there. Effing Beer writes, the name would be The Indifferences.
Who gives this?
The genre would be Chechnyan folk metal.
All right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The lineup, there is no instruments or equipment anyway, so whoever shows up that week.
There aren't any instruments in Chechnya.
No. The album would be called Cloud Yelling. And the single would be called That Sucks Anyway. I think I can get behind that.
Yeah. It's all mapped out for us.
All right, I'll put it on the list.
I'm liking that one.
Yeah.
Dave Schleed writes in and says, I don't know the band name, but it's got Justin on skin flute. Gross, Bev says.
If only she had a microphone to talk into.
Write the visuals
I
on
didn't
that.
really want that. I didn't want to put that on the microphone.
Put that on the microphone. Tim Burt says the Ghosts of
Turn
the
it up.
BN3 Peace Band.
Peace Band.
Justin, Dr. Scott, and Shat would be the band.
Oh, because they're ghosts.
I guess.
On the BN.
Yeah. No Darb says, duh, the Yeasty Boys. Yeah, but that's already been done.
It has?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Michael Fitzrobin says, this one is too hard. Just outsource it. I personally appreciate that.
Well, really, I think it was the third job that you gave them. Like, you made them do roles, name, and
I didn't make
lineup?
them. I just said it very nicely.
That's a lot of homework.
Well, anyway, I there you go, Warren. I don't know what to tell you. Let me look through it, make sure I didn't miss anything. There you go, Warren.
Okay. I guess I'll trust you.
Okay, all right.
If you say so.
So I only really wrote down 4. Joe, which is the Sugar Valley Backups, Effing Beer, which was the Chechnyan folk metal, Dave, which was the skin flute one, or Michael, which was just to outsource it.
Well, what about the yellow? What was the other one? Yellow
What one?
Something?
The Yeasty Boys?
No. Was it the Yeasty Boys?
Yeah.
Cloud Yelling?
Cloud Yelling.
Cloud Yelling, yeah.
That was,
that's Effing Beer.
Oh, that's Effing Beer.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a part of the
I like that
Chechnyan.
one.
That was a part of the Chechnyan folk.
Yeah,
metal,
see, and it
right?
wasn't hard because he did. He went above and beyond, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for just easy. Oh, I'll just fucking whatever. You know, people win actual things. They win prizes.
Do they?
Touched by Beverly.
Does she actually send them out?
No.
She touches them a lot.
Yes, I do.
But they win them. They win them and they stay here.
No, I send them.
You own it's like
Literally
a cigar
hate you
locker,
so
like a
much.
cigar club where like you keep your cigars, and then whenever you show up, you can get them out. That's what we have.
It's like the star certificates that NASA send you. It's your star.
That's
after
right.
You.
That's right.
You get
Name
to
a
keep
star
it.
after a loved one.
It's just up there.
Right.
And you'll never get it.
No, you'll
But
never
it's
go there.
Right.
You'll never sell it.
You got your certificate.
It could have already blown up.
That's
We're
right.
seeing the light from it about 1 million years old. But you owned it at once.
Imagine trying to sell a star. Like, I bought this star for a girlfriend, but I broke up. So if anyone wants to, I'm going to sell it. It's on eBay. $30. I'll rename it for you.
Yeah.
They do that. They do sell stars.
Yeah, I know. But do they resell the stars?
Oh, well, no one
you gonna
freaking
know?
knows where they actually are.
Yeah, who files the deeds? Who knows? Who keeps track of who owns what out there?
Okay, so we have Joe, Effing Beer, Dave, and
Wait a minute,
Michael.
that's a great question. Let's dwell on it.
Is it though?
Can we stay here for 20 more minutes and figure this out?
No, we're going to get through this right now. Do we want to take anyone off the list? What do you think about Dave's skin flute comment? I think it was a little too. Get rid of it.
I mean,
that's the visual.
That's too close to reality.
It's true. All right, so we have Joe, Effing Beer, and Michael. Who wants to vote? Warren? Do you want to?
Yes. Well, I'd like to vote.
Okay.
Whichever one
that's too
was
bad.
Chechnyan death metal.
That was Effing
or
Beer.
folk metal. Yeah, that one.
I agree.
Same.
Really? All right, Tasty?
I agree. I am on the same plane.
Nathan, you want to jump in on this stupid thing?
I think Cloud Yelling alone wins it for that.
This was the name.
I want to name a beer.
The beer. Okay. The TTB, we're open.
Google it right now. Perfect. Kim, do you matter?
It's unanimous.
That wasn't an option.
No.
Yeah. It was one of the choices.
Oh my God!
All right. That's a winner. Can we announce it?
Yeah. All right, Effing Beer. Good job, everybody.
We're moving on.
Michael, I would have voted for you, dude. Sorry.
Sorry.
I thought you picked also the long answer.
You like that one.
Yeah.
Appreciated.
You laughed the most.
You don't. Your microphone's not on anymore, Ken, because you don't understand how it works. All right, I think we're done.
Yes, please.
I think we're done here. We
Music to my ears.
Did all of the words. We did all the things.
Yes.
I have.
We read all the lives.
Yes, we did.
Good job.
All right, Nathan. We skipped a beer because I got shorted. I got shortchanged a beer. So what beer do we have in our glass right now as we end the show?
Well, I think it's a good one to end the show with. It's our, I think, 12.6%. It's a barrel-aged Imperial Stout.
You know what? You're right that none of your high alcohol beers. I would never have assumed that this would be 12%.
No.
So this one came straight out of the barrel, so I wanted to give you guys something interesting to end the night on.
Thanks, man. Yeah, cheers. I'm just sorry we didn't get to it in the last segment.
If only all of us had a sample.
It's really good. Trust me.
Yeah, we got a barrel from Griffo Distillery in Petaluma. And the barrel was a High West whiskey barrel that Lagunitas purchased and aged a stout in. And then Griffo bought it from Lagunitas, and then we bought it from Griffo. So it's got an interesting history. And
Got a little bit, and then it's been in alcohol twice and beer twice?
Yes, yeah.
There's still some character in there. Yeah, the tannins are coming through for sure.
What did the previous distillery age in the barrel?
They did. I think they called it. It was like a stout barrel bourbon or something like that.
So it's had two bourbons in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. That's very good. Thanks for dragging that out for us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This has been the session you've been listening to. Thanks to Alan and Nathan from Camino Brewing Company for coming all the way up from San Jose to talk some beer and share beer with us. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Go to CaminoBrewing.com. And then we'll be back, I don't know, at some point.
Maybe next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
Black
this week,
Frog Brewing.
There you go, Black Frog Brewing. We have Dr. Homebrew this week. I think we have Heads and Tails this week. If anybody's
this
listening
Friday.
live, you can check it out. If not, then
you have to wait.
I don't really care. Kim, it's been a pleasure seeing you as always. I wish you could talk to the microphone, but I turned it off. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you later.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his chair